Hello, and thank you for joining us for today's broadcast. This broadcast is a product of Shrine Media, LLC. Unauthorized use, sale, or redistribution of this media in any form is strictly prohibited without the express written consent of Shrine Media. Radio and television mediums are encouraged to reach out. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the game.
Well, hello and welcome. It is day 2 of the NAIA opening round, and we are excited to have you along here on the SESN Network. Gary Justice, Matt Kibbe with you. We've added a friend. We made a call to the bullpen. Gary Justice has come in. The Hall of Famer from U Pike is joining us here for the NAIA opening round. And Gary, you came in for a show here at 10 a.m.
I'm excited about the day of baseball. 4 great contest day between great ball clubs. The March for Lewiston began yesterday. Of course, Mother Nature said we're going to delay it one more day, but it's a good one between Columbia and Cumberland here at the 10 o'clock matchup.
It's the number 20 team, but the 3 seed Columbia, or number 20 team in the nation against but they got the 3 seed, the Columbia Cougars did, against the team that's receiving votes, but ended up with the number 2 seed here in Kingsport in the Cumberland Phoenix.
Yeah, Columbia, they're ranked 5th in the entire country, Matt, with 240 extra base hits. They have 135 doubles, 16 triples, 89 home runs. As a team, they hit 369. That's 3rd in the entire country. So, Matt, this Columbia, Missouri team know how to swing the sticks.
Well, it's going to be a difficult task for them because they're going up against one of the best pitchers in the Mid-South Conference, and that is the man that wears number 31, Justin Goldstein. He was an All-Mid-South second-teamer this year.
In Cumberland, 37-16 on the season, and Matt, and their 37 wins, their team ERA is 3.35. In their 16 losses, their ERA is 8.93. So their success is dictated by the person on the mound, and they got a good one today.
They'll be relying heavily on the Middle Tennessee State transfer that came to Cumberland. This is going to be one of the top matchups of the day. I was looking at the online NAIA ball you're familiar with. The boys over there were clocking this one as the game to watch yesterday, and then it got moved to today. It's still the game to watch today, and it is morning breakfast. Paul, grab your coffee. We have high-end action here between the 2 and the 3 seed at 10 in the morning due to some rain last night, and don't get me wrong, we made the right call because if we hadn't made that call, probably get thunderstorms, but probably could have played yesterday. We'll just do this in the morning, though, and play 4 today.
And you got an opening round matchup that features 2 teams that combined have 78 wins on the year, Matt. It's 2 quality ball clubs. It's going to be a fun one. I'm glad you called me in from the bullpen. It's going to be a fun one to be a part of.
I got the text and I was ecstatic when I saw the number come up, and it was Gary Justice will be joining you tomorrow in the booth. I said, we have the Hall of Famer. We have the man who knows everything there is to know about baseball joining us on SESN. What more can you ask for in the NAIA opening round?
Well, this is the sport of baseball, as I feel, is the best sport around, and my position was a pitcher, and I feel the guy on the bump he's worth the price of admission to come down and watch both these guys. Both these teams have quality pitchers who can get things done, but also both these teams can swing the sticks as well. So it should be a fun one, and I'm glad to be with you, Matt Kibbe.
So here's how we get this one going. It will be our starting on second baseman, number 16 for Columbia Central. It is Bailey Quint. He was an All-American Midwest Conference first-team member, batting in the leadoff spot. For head coach in his 9th season is Darren Munns. First pitch right on time at 10 a.m., and we are underway here in day 2 in the Kingsport Regional of the NAIA opening round. A first pitch strike makes it 0-1, and we are underway.
Yeah, anytime with any inning, you want those strike one, get the first out, so that strike one has been accomplished already.
Starting pitcher Goldstein will line deliver. Kind of works out of this moderate stretch. It's a modern version of the stretch. You see a lot of pitchers nowadays doing it, and that's what Goldstein kind of relies on, is working fast and working efficiently on the mound. Another pitch down low will be wasted, so it's 2-1. Goldstein comes in with a 3.82 ERA on the year, like you mentioned, Gary, 7-4. He's only started games, 15 appearances, all of them are starts. Back up the middle. There's a base hit to start this one off, and kind of what we expected. Some good at-bats, and the first one shows exactly that. It is Quint getting on base with a base hit up the middle, and he's 1 for 1. And the Cougars have their first hit of the ballgame.
Yeah, the Cougs, they know how to swing the sticks. We talked about the 369 batting average, and that average just went up with the first hitter in the opening round in Kingsport, Tennessee.
Second man up is Tyler Wren. He's the catcher for this Columbia Cougars team. Swings at the first offering from Goldstein. It's fouled into the batter's cage over on the right side. You know, the cool thing, as we continue to set the scene, Cumberland, the one team that sent their radio crew. So if you are of the Phoenix faithful, I will not be mad if you tune away and tune the audio into the radio broadcast and watch the video with us here on SCSN. I get it. You guys got a great crew over there with Randy, Chris, and Chris. I think we're actually going to have the second Chris join us up here in the booth later in this game. So, Cumberland, you'll get a chance to hear from one of your own here on SCSN.
Such a quality program for years, led by Woody Hunt, the Hall of Famer at the NAIA level quality program.
His son took over 4 years ago. I got a chance to talk to Ryan Hunt before the game. He's, of course, a graduate from Cumberland, played under his dad in 2003. He went on a couple of runs to the World Series. But the coolest thing that I think you can talk about with the Hunt family is when Woody retired a few years ago, the Mid-South actually changed the conference tournament. There's a ground ball to second, rolling back and not going to be able to make a play is the second baseman, Beal. So everybody stays in their spot at first and second. Nobody out for the Cougars, and this is a big moment for them to try and get some early runs. Beal tried to make a nice play, at least kept it from going to the outfield to keep the runner at second.
Definitely try to keep those anytime you have an opportunity for a double play. Always important. It's anytime you can have a opportunity to keep that baseball in the infield. It's always good. But the Cougs come out and they're starting early. They've got them in and they score position. We talked about get them on, get them over, get them in. They've got them on so far. Let's see if they can get them over.
We'll have more about the Hunt family in a little bit, but I'm feeling this is a big moment. So we'll see what the Cougars can do. Number 20 team in the nation. They've played a really tough schedule for the most part. They've won the games that they were supposed to. And then in the battles, they had a couple of struggles, but for the most part, they have been one of the best teams in the country. There's a reason they're here in Kingsport. Count goes to 0-1 after the first pitch from Goldstein. McGinnis is the batter, number 18, the big man for the Cougars. He's batting .479, unprecedented in this day and age, and you know he's been really good playing first base for this team. He was actually the player of the year in the American Midwest Conference. Another pitch on the outside, 1-2. Also a Gold Glover at first base, and then of course, being the player of the year, of course, you're going to be on the first team for your conference as well. A transfer from State Fair Community College, a native of Concordia, Missouri. In his senior year. Swings at the 1-2-2, and it's popped up foul. There's a lot of room here in Kingsport, drifting over and making a great catch. It's going to be 10. Wilser, the junior, rolled over. He was a first-teamer in the Mid-South, and he makes a nice play in foul territory for the first out and a big out.
It's a big one. You want to try to get the zero off the scoreboard on the number of outs in the inning. That was a big one. Here's an opportunity you're one pitch away from getting out in the inning, get out of trouble. We get one pitch, one out. Look for a lot of off-speed pitches probably here, trying to avoid the barrel. Try and get on the hands with a fastball, or maybe try to get him to roll over a breaking ball.
Still in the top of the first inning, one away. Goldstein on the mound. It is what we would call an ace-off. Aces are wild, if you will. Both aces are throwing, Goldstein, and then you'll have Owen Clark for Columbia College. Ground ball, second base. This will be fielded and thrown over to first. They'll get the guaranteed out, Will Beal. Smart play by the second baseman with it taking him towards first.
Nice job by the hurler on the mound to get things done here. You got the first couple of hitters got on. He was able to get the pop out, get the ground ball. Now he's just one pitch away getting out of this inning.
Won't be easy. Going to go up against Dylan Carlton on the outside in the other batter's box. Now you got to be careful here. Second and third, 2 outs, still dangerous. Wild pitch can score a run. We saw that happen yesterday in our lone game between Indiana Tech and Louisiana Christian. 1-0 on the inside. Great pitch, buckled the knees, makes it 1-1.
You talk about the catcher, Matt, too. It's important the ball is in the turf. You have to be able to drop the knees, and you also got to slant your chest. You can lean it so you can keep the baseball in front of you.
That's Trenton Dukeshire. Squeezes it for the second strike, and that's a way to battle after you throw one in the other batter's box and you come in and you throw 2 straight strikes, one of them on the breaking ball.
And he just buckled his knees on that one. Carlton was definitely fooled on that one.
The 1-2 to get out of the second and third jam in the dirt. 2-2 goes the count. We're even across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runners on.
Well, the 2-strike approach here probably will spread the stance, choke the hands up, still trying to just get the baseball in play.
Carlton set. Goldstein delivers. Ground ball past the diving first baseman into right field. This should score 2. Here comes the runner Wren at home, and he will score. It is a 2 RBI single for the right fielder, Dylan Carlton. He was a American Midwest Conference second teamer, and that is why plays like that in a 2-strike count, he's able to take a pitch on the outside, drive it to right field on the ground, and give his team an early first inning lead, 2-0.
And it's big to capitalize. You got those first 2 runners on, and you definitely want to capitalize on every scoring opportunity you can. You got to maximize and minimize. Cougars are maximizing so far.
And now it's Cumberland who needs to kind of dig deep and get out of the inning and limit the damage to 2. So that ground ball to second did a perfect job. Matoshak was the one who did it, and that advanced everyone. Check swing, yes he did, says the umpire down at first. I was able to get the assignments. We have a 7-umpire crew here. We'll talk about them more throughout the day, but it's a big honor to be assigned to the NAIA opening round.
Huge honor.
Back pick to first, nothing going with the runner over there, Carlton. Not the speedster that you might be used to seeing out playing right field today. Oh, 2. Goldstein's pitch swung on and missed. That will get him out of the inning, but not before Columbia College scores 2 runs here on SESN. We head to the bottom of the first inning. The score 2-0 in favor of the Cougars. Welcome back here on SESN. Excited to have you along. Matt Kibbe, Gary Justice with you. We're also getting some help from Visit Kingsport and Sarah operating our PTZ. We'll have a couple of rotations throughout the day. We have 4 games here in Kingsport. Does it feel like 10 a.m.? No, it feels like it's already the afternoon. So that means we're in for a long day here in Kingsport, Tennessee. The Kingsport Regional, the only regional not hosted by a school. It's Visit Kingsport is the presenting host for this opening round, the only one that has the privilege of doing so. Of course, getting help from the number 1 overall seed, Tennessee Wesleyan. I believe they are the official training staff, as well as if any teams brought their own trainers. So in a way, they're kind of the de facto host, but Visit Kingsport putting everything on, doing a great job. Glenn Crawford is our site director. He does a fantastic job, and he does not have an easy job by any means. First batter of the game for Cumberland's will fly out to right, and that will be the first out in a 2-0 game as we see Owen Clark for the first time today. And Gary, you were talking about how this Columbia College team really relies on their pitching.
It definitely, Columbia, they're very an offensive team, but they're able to throw their peel pretty well also. A lot of times you see teams who are not balanced, so you can swing the sticks, they can't really pitch. But now this Cougars team, they can do it both.
Fouled off the second batter of the inning. This is the man that wears number 28, Hunter Moser, all Mid-South second teamer. Clark from the left side makes it really difficult on the hitters, whether you're righty or lefty. So another high fly ball with the breaking ball that you can get underneath very quickly. You got to make the adjustment, try and hit line drives. I've always been taught as a right-handed hitter going up against the lefty, don't even try and pull it. No. Just go right to right field with it.
And also, Matt, let's talk about what Mr. Clark on the mound, his team put 2 up on the scoreboard in the top half of the first, come out and got quick 2 early outs here in the first, keep that momentum.
Only had 8 pitches through the first 2 batters. That was his 9th of the inning. Owen Clark, if you haven't seen the numbers, one of the best pitchers in the country for a reason, and sees the pitch on the outside. Owen was a first-teamer for the American Midwest Conference. He's a transfer from Midway University, comes in with a 2.08 ERA. Here's a line drive from the lefty. That one will get down for the first hit of the ball game for Cumberland. There's a Welchel to get on base for Cumberland. He's a transfer from the number 1 seed, Tennessee Wesleyan. I don't know how often you see that kind of transfer, but here he is in Cumberland, getting a base knock in the opening round.
That Tennessee Wesleyan Bulldogs club is a fun one. This is 5 quality teams in Kingsport.
I would argue we were fortunate enough to get the best regional in terms of teams. There's maybe an argument that Shreveport is really good, but let me tell you something. We got 5 really good teams that anybody could beat anybody, really. I saw the NAIA ball boys as there's a high fly ball going out into shallow right field, giving chases. Carlton, he'll call everyone off and make the catch. That will retire the side. Everybody in the NAIA ball picked Tennessee Wesleyan to win this regional, but that is not a guarantee. 2-0 the score here on SESN. We head to the second inning on SESN. Columbia leading Cumberland by a score of 2-0. Welcome back here on SESN. We move to the second inning in this highly anticipated matchup. It moved from what was supposed to be around a 1 o'clock start yesterday, well, 2:30 I should say. That's like way off at this point. But it was supposed to be around a 2:30 start, but with rain in the area, it was decided that we were better off waiting it out, moving everything to tomorrow. So that gives us a 4-game day today, where there is some rain that's supposed to be coming in around 4 o'clock, but we should be able to get the first 2 games in without any issue. There's a sword of a swing, and Goldstein just put one on the inside, made it really difficult for Schulte to get around it.
Yeah, Goldstein's buckled a couple of hitters here early.
0-2, way ahead again. And he gets one on the outside with the off-speed pitch in the other batter's box. Schulte couldn't resist swinging over top of it, and he strikes out. Second strikeout of the day for Goldstein. That will bring up Dunn. Jackson Dunn, that is, the junior from St. Peters, Missouri. He has a little bit of a sword swing. And what that tells you, Gary, is that he's throwing some stuff off speed that these batters cannot pick up out of the hand.
You're exactly right. A lot of times you'll see guys look for the box above the pitcher's shoulder. And what that box will tell you, if you see the palm of the hand of the pitcher, it means something straight's coming. If you see the side of the hand, that means something breaking is coming right now. And the batters right now are not picking it up out of his hand.
Already ahead 0-2 again. Had a 3-pitch strikeout to start this game off, and he won't have it here. Immaculate inning and is off the table. Fouled off to the right side, but the count remains 0-2. That looked like he changed it up. Instead of going to the off speed, he threw one on the inside.
Probably setting up this next pitch, Matt.
The 0-2. Downstairs, wastes one, and makes it 1-2. Not a bad pitch. Like you said, kind of setting up the rest of your arsenal.
Also, you want to try to avoid tendencies on the mound, too, as far as pitches in certain situations. Because that on-deck hitter is trying to get their timing down right now.
Another one fouled off by Dunn. It's a good battle when you're in a fight like this one going up against a really good team. You need at-bats like this to kind of get that pitch count up even more.
That's where you see a quality hitter when they start fouling things off and trying to find a pitch they can drive. That's how you can tell a well-coached ball club.
Another 1-2. That one looked like it was a circle change. I don't know if you saw that from his hand, but he kind of went out. You can kind of see the fingers when he let go of it. It's a really good pitch. It floats down into the dirt. You're trying to get somebody to swing over top of it.
Well, pronation.
The 2-2. Another foul ball. This is a great at-bat from Jackson Dunn.
You talk about that change. A lot of guys struggle throwing the circle change, and I did as well. I threw more of a palm ball, just raised my fingers up. Because the pronation, we got to start turning the hand a little bit. There's a lot of moving parts. It's an effective pitch if you're able to do it.
2-2 again, upstairs, and that's been the kind of the trend here. Is he gets a strike or a foul ball, and then he'll end up throwing one high or in the dirt, and it ends up being a ball. And trying to get that control under control in the early going. This is a long at-bat, 8 pitches so far. And he gets the 9th one on the inside, called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Goldstein, his 3rd of the day.
That's his bread and butter is the breaking ball, and it doesn't look like, sometimes his sliders, the curve ball, it looks like more like a slurve. It doesn't have the 12-6 break or the real 3-9 cut right now, but it's a sweeper. It's a good one as well.
Coach Hunt said he was excited to have his guy going in this game. Pitch on the outside, first pitch strike again.
Well, Matt, I would as well.
The cool thing, so this game, they had to submit their lineups yesterday prior to any delay and then prior to the cancellation. So we came to the ballpark today. We're going, hey, any changes? They go, absolutely not. Everything is the exact same as it was yesterday for both teams.
Columbia had that big 2-out base hit and top out of the first, led to 2 runs.
1-1. Goldstein, another pitch on the outside to the lefty this time. He's really working that arm side movement.
which is key, against a left-handed hitter. You can try to avoid that barrel by getting on the end of the bat.
1-2. Way away. And he'll hear it from both dugouts, really. His own team's going to give him a little bit of grief for that one.
Hey, to quote the movie Major League, just a bit outside. I'll be surprised if you don't see the breaking ball come here, Matt. 2-2.
Here is the 2-2 with 2 outs from Goldstein. Swung on and missed. He strikes out the side, and we move to the bottom of the second inning. The score still 2-0 in favor of Columbia College. The bats come up for the Phoenix, and we'll be right back on SESN. Welcome back. There you see number 54 for Columbia. That is Darren Munns in his 9th season at the helm. He was the 2025 American Midwest Conference Coach of the Year. It was his 3rd time receiving that honor. He won it back in 2017 and in 2021, and he has been one of the reasons this team has been really good. This was a team that went on a program that was rebooted back in 2016, 2017 after a 35-year absence, the Columbia College Cougars were. And there was a shaky history from the 1970s till about the 1980s and dormant for 35 years. Coach Munns comes in, takes over. He's got a long established career over the course of his tenure as a coach, but now with Columbia in his 9th season and was the 2025 Coach of the Year in the American Midwest Conference. Line drive down the third base line, base hit for Toshi Korea. He will head into second with a stand-up double, and that's a perfect segue to the other side. Toshi is the player for this Columbia Phoenix team that plays under the 4th-year head coach. That is Ryan Hunt. And he was the 2025 Mid-South Conference Coach of the Year. That was the first time he has received that honor since being at Cumberland, taking over for his dad, who was the longtime coach, Woody Hayes. And when they were in the Mid-South Conference tournament, I was talking about the story a little bit earlier, but the Mid-South Conference changed their tournament trophy to be named after Woody Hayes. Now, Woody Hayes is stapled all over Cumberland, all over the Mid-South.
Woody Hunt.
Woody Hunt. My apologies. I'm thinking of Woody Hayes of Ohio State. Don't ask me why I'm thinking of that as a Michigan fan. But Woody Hunt was the Mid-South Conference. He's all over the place. The field at Cumberland is named after him, and now the conference trophy is named after him. And for Ryan, his son, when they won the Mid-South this year, that was the first time he's been able to be presented the trophy, and the Mid-South did this really awesome gesture with Woody being in attendance. He was the one that presented the Woody Hunt Trophy to his son, Ryan Hunt, in the Mid-South Conference Championship game.
Such a special opportunity for Coach Hunt.
I asked him about it before the game, and I got an idea from Randy and Chris, the radio guys for Cumberland, about how much that meant, and I wanted to ask Coach about it. He said, I know I can't fill those shoes. Nobody can. Nobody can fill the shoes of a coach that's been at a place for 25 years and brought a ton of success to a program. Everybody talks so highly about Woody, but he said, to win that trophy, have it presented by my dad, and be in that situation, that means the world to me. And it tells me I'm in the right spot and I'm doing the right thing. He was an assistant coach under his dad, played for his dad, but then he left for a couple of years and went on his own venture before coming back to Cumberland. And that's been one of the differences. Now, ever since Coach left, there's a strikeout for Owen Clark, who continues to throw off-speed pitch from the left side. He's been really good on the mound. We'll talk more about him a little bit. But for this Cumberland team, it's changed. They had a sustained excellence that you could expect, and it kind of took a dip. So now Coach Hunt, trying to build it back up in his fourth season, does that by winning the conference tournament, and now as the number 2 seed in Kingsport, which he said was he wasn't prepared necessarily for that, and then he saw the matchup and said, we're going to be in a dogfight when we get to Kingsport, and that's exactly what's happening so far, a 2-0 game. But yeah, he's been in this role and thriving in it since coming to Cumberland, which is a program that has a ton of eyes on it. Really might be one of the most followed teams in the NAIA.
No doubt. They lead the country in home attendance.
There's a ground ball through the hole between first and second. They will send the runner around. Coming home is Correa, and he will slide in safely. The lead is cut in half, 2-1 on the RBI single from Gaines Hassan. He singles to right field, and it is 2-1. And there you saw Coach Hunt signaling around to send the runner from second to third. On this turf, Gary, that ball gets to the outfield really quick. You got to trust your speed to score.
And you also got to run the entire 90 feet as well, because that ball can skip off that turf, get a lot of velocity going to the plate, so they make those throws from the outfield much quicker as well. Nice job running the bags there to score the first run of the day for Cumberland.
Another ground ball, this one to second, 6-4-3, double play, and that was something we were going to get a chance to talk about. If there's one hiccup for Cumberland this year, it's rolling into double plays.
Yeah, leading the country. That's their 50th time this year, bouncing into a double play, first in the entire country.
And so that takes us to the third inning here as we figure out where we're at. But that was a double play to stop the momentum from Cumberland. And we head to the break, and we go to the third. The score now 2-1 in favor of Columbia College. Welcome back here on SESN. Hunter Wright Stadium is where we are at in Kingsport, Tennessee. I'm Matt Kibbe. That's Gary Justice joining us here. We made the call for the closer to join us here for 4 games, and the first game starting today at 10 a.m. We go all the way until 8:30 tonight. I'm not sure if we'll have Gary through the entire night, but we have him for the first couple of games at least, and that's where we're excited to have him with us. And it's the opening round of the NAIA National Tournament, and the trip to Lewiston is on the line. 10 teams make it from the 10 regionals, and we have one of the best in the country. And we start today off with the number 2 seed Cumberland Phoenix against the number 3 seed Columbia Cougars. And this is the third inning. 2-1 is our score here on SESN. And Goldstein is still on the mound.
He's rolling right now. Got 4 strikeouts through the first 6 outs, 4 punch outs, and we were talking off air, Matt. He struck at the side there in the second, really trying to use that momentum going here into the third inning as well.
There was one long at bat in that second inning, but outside of that, it really was efficient. Another fly ball to the right side. It's going to be fouled off. just far enough away where 10 couldn't get to it. It's a very, how do I describe it? Symmetrical field in Kingsport. Numbers aren't on the wall. The only number we have is dead center field is 410, which leads me to believe, we were talking about this with the radio crew, I believe it's 375 to the power alleys and then 325 down the lines. That would be the typical. This was a former minor league ballpark for the Mets, and now it's a collegiate summer league. Kingsport Axemen play here in the summer league, the MLB Partner League, so they have all the TrackMan and stuff here. But that's what leads me to believe that it's 375 and 325 in the power alleys and then down the line. Pitch on the outside, 1-2. There's the waste pitch. We call it, I always think that's a weird thing as a catcher. Why do we call it a waste pitch? It's a setup pitch more so than anything. 1-2. Another foul ball straight back.
So, Kippy, I had an opportunity to play in college for Johnny LeMaster, who played for the San Francisco Giants for 12 years, shortstop. And he called it a chase pitch versus a waste pitch.
I like that. Like, that makes more sense. You're trying to kind of steal a strikeout, but set up your other stuff. Goldstein does so again. There's a check swing. No appeal. It didn't go anyway.
And the chase pitch is because it's a mentality from the pitcher. Because you're thinking, well, I'm going to waste this pitch. You may not try as hard. You just throw it away. But if you try to get him in chase, then you're a little bit more deliberate with your delivery.
There's a chase pitch right down the middle and swung over top of by Quint. That's the first out here in the third, and it's the 5th strikeout for Goldstein, who has been – outside of that first inning where he gave up the 2 runs, lights out.
And, you know, in that first inning, too, Matt, he had an opportunity. He was 1 pitch away from getting out of that inning as well, but nice job by the Cougars with a 2-out base hit in the first. But he's settled in. He's locked in right now.
Tyler Wren, the batter now. First pitch misses. That's a rare first pitch ball from Goldstein. That was his 41st pitch. No signs of rain, so no worry about delays, whatnot. What have you here in Kingsport. That's not till the afternoon when we will see Louisiana Christian face the loser of this game. We did have a schedule change today. So our schedule, of course, Columbia versus Cumberland here in game number 1. And then our next game will be Indiana Tech versus Tennessee Wesleyan. That game will follow this one an hour after the conclusion. And then our third game is Louisiana Christian versus the loser of this game. The difference here is our 8:30 game tonight is now a winner's bracket game. So the winner of the first 2 games will play each other in that last game of the day. There's a walk, a 4-pitch walk. Didn't throw a strike. That's a rarity for Goldstein. And the change that we saw, it was actually supposed to be a loser bracket game. It was supposed to be the last game of the day. But there was a chance that the loser of this game that we're playing right now would have had to play 3 games. And that's a NAIA ball. You're very used to playing double headers. You can handle all of that, but a triple header is a lot to ask, especially when your season's on the line in that very last game. Pickoff, got him, Goldstein. Quick move, and he picks off the runner O'Neal after a 4-pitch walk to get back in order. 2 outs up on the board. Goldstein, what a pickoff move.
Take things in your own hand, right? Nice little bunny hop move, quick pickoff move to first base to retire the base runner.
Give some credit to 10 as well over at first. He slapped that ball and took away any chance that you could get a hand in.
And you know, Matt, there's a thing about you watch the guys in the big leagues as they're training for that. You have to allow that baseball to come to you. So many guys want to go get the baseball, then pull it. It's actually slower. He did a nice job letting the baseball travel all the way to the runner and slap the tag on.
The 0-1, it got everywhere, and they're going to say it hit McGinnis. I'm not sure if it did. They might have a conversation. McGinnis is trying to sell it. Everybody was talking about it, and here comes Coach Munns to have a conversation with the home plate umpire. We do, so I lied. The mountains change things very quickly here in Kingsport. We do have rain coming. Coach Munns is having a conversation with the home plate umpire today. In this game, at least, it's Jack Cox, and he is saying that McGinnis will stay. The player of the year was trying to sneak on base. We're going to actually, so with the rain coming, we're going to lose our fourth camera. We still have our other three, so we'll work around that. And when the rain clears away, we're hoping at least tomorrow and Thursday, they're looking like really good days to get this stuff in, and we'll have a full production for you up here. But with the rain, we can't risk the equipment. And so we will take off our one camera that's exposed to the elements. Every other camera, though, is protected, so you will still see this view from behind home plate with the great Visit Kingsport sign in the background. Highly recommend it. I went downtown yesterday. It was awesome. High fly ball to wrap up the top half of the third inning. The right fielder, Wetchel, is there. He'll make the catch, and we will head to the bottom of the third inning. The score, 2-1, after a little interruption with the 1-2-3, a pickoff from Goldstein, and that takes us to the bottom of the third here on SESN. Welcome back. So with some weather coming in, the exact reasoning why we prevented yesterday from happening, we will still deal with it today. That's kind of the story here in Kingsport, is weather is going to be playing a factor. There is a system coming right over top of us. It wasn't supposed to get here until 4 o'clock, Gary, but you're from here. You live out in the area. These mountains, they play tricks on you.
Yeah, sometimes the mountains can give us, and sometimes they can take it away.
First pitch in the bottom of the third inning from Owen Clark is on the outside for a ball. It is Beal who is leading us off. He'll swing at the second pitch, ground ball to short, quick hop on the turf, and a throw over to first in plenty of time for the putout as the rain starts to fall. Nice play there by Dunn to throw over and get the runner.
Yeah, one pitch, one out. Clark continued to just pound the zone as he's done all day long. This Cumberland Phoenix team and their wins a 364 batting average, and their losses this year a 267 batting average.
First pitch, ball.
And I love how Clark will attack. He changes eye levels inside, outside, up and down. Does such a good job.
Second pitch right on the inside corner for a strike. Here's the thing about Owen Clark. So he's given up the one run, and talking to Coach Munn, he hasn't had a start this year where he's given up more than 2 earned runs. So if you're Cumberland, you have to break a trend that has been unbreakable through 10 starts this year. Strike 3 on the inside corner, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning as the rain starts to fall.
Look how impressive that is, of pounding the zone underneath the hitter's hands. So many pitchers will not pitch there, Matt, and Clark
is not afraid.
I want to challenge you. Let's go.
We talk about it. How hard is it from a lefty to hit an inside pitch as a right-handed hitter? You have all the run, the natural run. It's not even a two-seam naturally. A lefty just holds a four-seamer, and it just has run all of a sudden. Check swing doesn't go. It's on the inside.
Think about this here. Now, In the bottom of the third, got one pitch, got the bounce out to the shortstop, strikes out the next guy, and already 1-1 on the hitter.
Hunter Moser is a Mid-South second teamer this past year. Moser bats .356, second best batting average on this team. He's played in 45 games, started 43 of them. He's been good. Rolls this one foul to the third base side. We're in a little bit of a, our spot is a little off center. You can see from our cameras that you've seen today that we're a little off center. So sometimes that ball down the third base line looks fair off the bat until you kind of see how the fielders react. Another one thought about it, held back. There's another inside pitch from Clark to make it 3-2 with 2 outs. Moser trying to find some momentum here in the third. Inside, called, strike 3. Moser doesn't like it. Owen Clark loves it. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Columbia College, and we head to the fourth. Our score, 2-1 in favor of the Cougars. We'll be right back on SCSN. Welcome back here on SESN. We move to the fourth inning here between Cumberland and Columbia. And it has been the Justin Goldstein show here for the past 2 innings, Gary.
He is definitely the last 6 outs, 5 punch outs, and he had the pickoff. So talking about taking care of business and doing your job on the bump. He's doing it so far the ball game for the Phoenix.
Rain's starting to come down a little bit more steady. It's not a heavy rain. It's a light rain. We still see the I won't call it a blue sky, but it's not a gray sky by any means. The rain will be a factor all day today. We'll work around it. Stuff's starting to move around.
But also, I know it's a great to be able to play on the turf. It is, but now this turf will get slick.
Yes.
Especially with the rain falling. So that's something the guys got to make sure they account for.
Now, both of these teams are used to playing on turf. You know, it used to be a thing, Gary, where it would be a rarity that you played on turf throughout the season. But I was talking to Coach Munns, and he said, like, probably about half of our games this year have been on turf. So this is, like, not uncharted territory. We know how to play on turf in slick conditions. There's a scorcher down to right field, but it will go foul. It got out in a hurry. It went right over the wall, but it just went foul to the right side of that right field pole, and it's just a long strike.
You talk about trying to keep your hands inside the baseball so you can get the barrel on the bat. He did so on that one. Just a little too early, hooked it foul, but solid contact.
Matoshak, Jack that is, pounded one to right field, and then he'll roll one over to second, and that's the duality of man there. You hit one foul that goes a mile and at 100 miles per hour, and then you roll over to second for the first out of the inning.
Now, Matt, being a former pitcher, I like to give credit to the pitcher. He avoided the barrel on that pitch. But Goldstein's done such a good job so far early in avoiding that barrel. Besides that first inning, a 2-out base hit, he has done a good job keeping his ball club in the ball game.
So 1 out here in the top of the 4th. First pitch fouled off by Carlton, the right fielder, who had he's the difference maker so far in this game, Gary. He had the 2 RBI single. It was that hot shot through the hole between first and second that scored runners from second and third back in the first inning.
You talked about utilizing, especially with 2 strikes, going to the opposite field when you can. He did exactly that. He went with the pitch, let the baseball travel as far and as deep as you can, hit that baseball to the opposite field, drive in a couple of runs.
So if you count the pickoff, which I kind of do in a way, it was a walk that was immediately picked off. That puts him at 8 in a row, 8 outs in a row.
That's good, right?
I would argue that. But outside of that, it was a stretch before the walk that was at 5 in a row, and now that's back-to-back with an out to end the inning and then start the inning with a ground ball. Swung on and missed. There's another strikeout. 6th of the day for Goldstein, and there's 2 outs up on the board here in the 4th. That will bring up Zachary Friend. His first pitch is on the outside from Goldstein, make it 1-0.
Yeah, Friend, he struck out swinging his first time. That was the end of the first inning.
Another pitch on the inside. This is a Cumberland team, Gary, that's trying to get back to the NAIA World Series. They haven't done so since 2014, which is a extremely long drought for this team. Another check swing called a strike. But if you are a fan of the Phoenix and you remember 2014, well, guess where that regional was at? It was right here in Kingsport, Tennessee. Team that has been to the World Series 12 times.
They definitely have a good ball club this year, and they won the Mid-South Conference tournament. They beat the University of Cumberland out of Kentucky 2 out of 3. At the time, those ranked 9th in the country, and that was a big one. So they're playing some good baseball right now.
It's the first time since 2023 that they've made it back to the NAIA opening round, and it was their 10th tournament title as a program in the Mid-South.
That Mid-South is a quality conference, too.
That's a tough conference.
Heavyweights.
High fly ball by Friend, going back and looking up. It's way gone! Zachary Friend goes yard, and it's 3-1 here in Kingsport. Columbia College finds the yard card, and it is a 3-1 ball game. Whoa!
Yeah, you're talking about a 2-strike approach. He did a nice job, kept his hands inside the baseball, nice weight transfer, showed the pops he had, and that'll be the 90th homer for his ball club this year as a team.
Unreal. And for Friend, that was his 11th homer of the season. First of the postseason, and first home run here in Kingsport this week. I didn't think. There's another pitch on the outside that swung over 1-1. So rare miscue, and that ends the streak of getting some outs for Cumberland. But, with the weather that we were having, Gary, I did not think we would see a whole lot of home runs, and that one was a no-doubter.
Yeah, sometimes when you have the rain coming down and the pressure starting to drop a little bit, it makes that baseball a little bit heavier, and that one cleared the Comfort Sweet signs easily in left field wall.
We kind of both we saw it off the bat. We both kind of stopped and we're like, that's gone. that's a long fly ball, and no room any stadium could keep that in.
No, that one, I think, is regardless of where that baseball was hitting this ballpark. If getting dead center field, it's probably going leaving the yard. Well hit baseball.
trying to answer back with an out. The rollover to short is picked up by Dalton Akawumi. He'll throw over to first in plenty of time. That's the hardest name in the Kingsport Regional this week, and he gets the out. And after the home run from Zachary Friend, the Cougars get back to their 2-run lead here on SESN. We move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Cumberland's got their work cut out for them going up against Owen Clark. We'll be right back on SESN. Welcome back here on SESN. 3-1 is our score. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Cumberland up to bat. Remember, it is the higher seed through these opening games that is the home team. So Cumberland has the last at bat as the 2 seed, but Columbia College has the lead 3-1, and they jumped out to a hurry in the 1st inning, putting up 2, and then they just got the homer from Zachary Friend, who made the lead 3-1.
Through 3 innings, Clark's thrown 37 pitches, allowed 3 hits, and 1 run. It was earned. He also had 3 punch-outs.
3 hits, only one of them an extra base hit. But that extra base hit ended up coming around to score. And here comes the big shift on the lefty.
You can kind of.
3 infielders on the right side. It almost worked out to perfection, a pitch after the movement. This is Chase Magega. That moved over. He's playing third today. High pitch makes it 3-2 from Clark.
So you can see the first baseman, and that's not the second baseman, folks, on the screen. That is the third baseman.
And then the shortstop and second baseman are kind of in their traditional position. And then trying to beat the shift. That would have been something from Wetzel.
You know, as a hitter, if you want to try to hit the baseball to the opposite field, you got to let it travel a little bit further. And you got to trust your hands. You have to have quick hands. It's easier said than done.
It's a lefty-lefty matchup with the shift on. Swung over top of drop third. Preston will run down to first, and they'll complete the strikeout from Wren over to McGinnis, and that will be the first out here in the bottom of the 4th inning of a 3-1 ball game.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with Clark. We talked about it back in the 3rd about how he attacks the zone, Matt, up and down, in and out. And when I say inside, he pitches on the black. It's not on the white. He gets right underneath their hands. Talking about avoiding barrels, he's doing a good job so far today and getting ahead of hitters, but also finishing hitters too is key.
Yes. Wilser 10 will bat now with 1 out up on the board. The righty against the lefty. Clark continuing to slice here with 47 pitches. Gary, I know you guys were here for the AAC tournament that was also hosted by Visit Kingsport. here at Hunter Wright Stadium. Did you guys get any foul balls up here?
Oh, we did.
Did? Okay, I'm like trying to be prepared because like the netting doesn't go up to the second level of the press box where we're located. There's strike 3 on the inside corner. Another beautiful pitch on the inside from Owen Clark, and there's 2 outs up on the board.
I thought he was joking because Gabriel Schry was sitting exactly where you were, and it hit the monitor. It came up twice. Boom, hit the monitor. It was very quick. It didn't even come off the netting. It comes straight in, so be heads up, definitely.
I didn't bring my glove, and I was like, he didn't give me the warning coming in here that I needed my glove, or I would have brought it. We might have to make some barehanded catches up here. We'll be ready, though.
We will move our feet, keep the chest in front of the baseball, right?
If you take a look at our camera from behind home plate, you can kind of see it. We'll get a look at it here after this pitch. High fly ball. And the first baseman will give way, nothing going. But here's our wide shot from behind home. And it looks like this. So you can kind of see the netting and how it comes up at us. So it's not up above us. We're not under the netting. We're actually above it. So we are exposed if a straight fly ball foul comes at us. It's coming at us, and we'll be ready for it.
It kind of gives a little launching ramp to come up here.
The 1-1 count from Clark on the inside. Now, you're lucky if you're the Cumberland radio crew, Randy and Chris over on our left. They're far enough over where I don't think they have to worry about it as much.
No, we're definitely on the right side of the press box is the danger zone. Heads up. Right?
And we're a little off center. You can kind of see where we're at. Swung over top of 2-2 by Correa. But we're a little off center from the press box. It's actually a really good angle. It's a beautiful ballpark here in Kingsport, Tennessee. We're very lucky to be here. High fly ball fouled off. That would have had an impact slightly if we were centered up.
I definitely love the stadium. Plenty of parking, easy get in. I mean, it's a fan-friendly ballpark. It's just easy to get in, get out.
You know, I was talking to some of the players, and at least hearing them talk about it. There's another foul ball by the batter, Correa. And talking to them, you know, you get one of the best natural batter eyes here in Kingsport due to all the trees that are behind with all the mountains. So there's not any extra batter's eye. It is the trees. You become one with them in the batter's box.
One with nature.
One with nature here in Kingsport. All turf field, 2 years old. Swung over top of and missed. Owen Clark gets another strikeout to end the inning. That is his 6th strikeout of the day, and it takes us to the 5th inning here on SESN. The score, 3-1 in favor of Columbia College. Welcome back here, top of the 5th inning between Cumberland and Columbia, Missouri. The team that we're seeing here today, the number 3 seed from Columbia, Missouri, play their home games at Cougar Field. They were founded in 1851. Roll over to third, picked up by Hassan. He'll throw over to first in plenty of time. 5-3 on the putout, and that's the first out for Goldstein here in what is now his 5th inning of work. And through 4, he's given up 3 runs on just 3 hits. Only one of them is an earned run. It was the home run because of that error at second. I was kind of shocked they counted that as an error with how hard that ball was hit.
Same when I was looking at the scorecard. I was like,
wait, where's the error? And then I'm thinking it was the ground ball to second back in the first inning. Lofted to left field, and this will be an easy play for the left fielder, LaRue.
So Goldstein's come out here in the 4th inning, quickly 2 up, 2 down, and we've talked about this will be the second time through the lineup, as this will be the leadoff hitter. Actually,
so this makes it the third
time through. Yes, I mean, so this will be interesting to see what may change.
Got through the first 2 in 4 2/3, and he's done it on what is now his 74th pitch.
You also mentioned earlier about all these appearances being as a starter.
Right.
There's a huge difference between a starter and a reliever because the third time through the lineup, do you have stuff to get guys out with a third time through?
And Cumberland believes they do with Justin. He works really well around the zone, throws a couple of different pitches. We've seen a little bit of a changeup action, a lot of curve balls, and we've seen the fastball, of course. Look like that changeup got left up. That's a dangerous spot to leave that pitch. Pitch on the outside, misses, so the count runs to 3-1 here with 2 outs.
Through the first 6, well, I mean, so far with 2 outs, the Cougars are 2 for 6, hitting with 2 outs. Doing a nice job extending innings.
High fly to right field. This will be Wetchel, who will make another inning-ending catch, and that will take us to the bottom of the 5th. That's a great, efficient inning from Goldstein, and that will take us to the bottom of the 5th inning here on SESN. The Phoenix still down by 2 as we move along in this game. We'll be right back.
The Southeast Sports Network is now on Amazon Fire TV. Now you can download the SESN app and watch on any Amazon-enabled device, such as your Fire Stick. The easiest way to download the app is to go to our website, find the Watch SESN tab, and click Fire TV app. Then just select your device from the list. That's it. Free and easy. Enjoy watching the Southeast Sports Network on your Fire TV, Fire Stick, or Fire tablet with just a few clicks.
It all began in 1937. A vision to start something different, something better. A college athletics association where competition wasn't just about the scoreboard, but about character, growth, and rising together. From that first tip-off, the NAIA has grown in size and in spirit, in the way we play, the way we lead, the way we make athletics greater than a game.
This is college athletics the way it was meant to be. This is the right way to play.
Welcome back here, NAIA opening round college baseball on SESN. We're in Kingsport, Tennessee at Hunter Wright Stadium. Gary Justice, Matt Kibbe with you here on SESN. We got the Visit Kingsport people taking some water over to the dugout.
They do such a good job here.
They are awesome.
Hosting the AAC, then also this opening round. And if you need anything, I mean, all you do is ask, and they take it so seriously, and it's top notch.
I got to let them go. So there's only so here's the issue for the reason for the delay. There's only one actual behind home plate. There's only one entrance to the field. So you have to go all the way from the third base dugout back to the third base dugout. You got to walk over to the first base dugout. Then you have to come back to the third base dugout to the one entrance where there's not a second one next to the third base dugout. or the first base. I'm getting confused on our sides. The Columbia dugout doesn't have an entrance out of it.
So for Cumberland here, Kibby, trailing 3-1, 6, 7, 8 do it here in the bottom of the 5th.
Only one hit between the batters in the bottom of the order, between 6 through 9. That one hit is on deck with Hassan. Ground ball foul to make the count even at 1.
As a reminder, the Phoenix this year, 37 wins, a .367 batting average in those 37 wins.
Through their 14 at-bats today, they're 3 for 14 with their 3 hits, so that puts them at a .214 average.
And then their 16 losses on the year, they've hit it at a .267 clip.
So that's need a couple more base hits, but they're difficult to get against Owen Clark. You almost want to try and make them work. There's a check swing and ends up going around, so LaRue will strike out, and that's the first out here for Owen Clark, who continues on his rampage. That is his 7th strikeout of the day.
You know, but I saw a performance here during the AAC from Blake Payton. We'll see later in this tournament with Tennessee Wesleyan. He had 16 punch-outs. Clark is just as dominant as Payton was that night. He is pounding the zone. But we talked about him, Matt. He's finishing hitters. He's getting ahead of hitters, but then he's also finishing the hitters with a variety of pitches, fastballs, breaking balls, inside, outside, up and down.
There's a pitch, a breaking ball that hits in the middle of the zone, makes it 1-1 on Hassan, who ground ball down to the third base line, foul. 1-2 again for Owen Clark. He started this at bat at 61 pitches, so through 3 pitches now puts him at 64.
That's a good count through going to the 5th.
That's through 4 1/3. That one just missed. Wanted it, doesn't get it.
Especially when you have 7 punch-outs. I mean, that's a very efficient morning of pitching.
Now, because of the rain, there's a ground ball base hit for Hassan, and that is his 2nd hit of the day in that 7-hole spot. He's got a little bit of a number on Owen Clark. 2 for 2 today.
Yeah, he got the breaking ball 2-2 and just kind of rolled his hands over, was able to find between the 5 and 6 hole, and that'll be the 4th hit of the day for the Phoenix. Got a base runner on 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Let's see if the bottom half of the order can continue to produce for the Phoenix.
Dukeshire comes up, and he wants to make up for his last at-bat where he rolled into a traditional double play to short. It was the 50th double play of the season that Cumberland has rolled into.
Yeah, you want to lead the country in a lot of things, but I don't think it's one of the things you want to lead the country in.
And it was untimely, too, because they had just scored a run to cut the lead in half, and then the double play just halted all the momentum.
Hassan's been getting a short lead at first base. Of course, working against the left-hander, you want to shorten that lead up a little bit because Clark has a very quick move on the mound.
Lefty. There's a liner or a bloop single to center field. That's exactly what Dukeshire wanted, is to get a base knock and really get this inning started. Runners at first and second with 1 out.
Yeah, back-to-back base hits for the Phoenix. Can do a nice job of keeping their hands back on the breaking ball, Matt, and driving that baseball back where it came from. Now the Phoenix got a little offensive rhythm going to the bottom half of the 5th, so they can drive them in.
So Dukeshire being the catcher, the NAIA, of course, allows for courtesy runners, so he will get a courtesy runner. And that allows you to get – that's a smart – it's a game plan thing. That courtesy runner is an important spot. Allows you to take the speed of what is traditionally a slow position in catcher and also put somebody with some speed.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
You're good.
So in the Appalachian Athletic Conference, a lot of teams will lead their catcher off. So they get on. Now
right.
you have to use that courtesy runner.
And then you have speed for the middle of your order. The first real stress inning for Owen Clark today. Back in the 2nd, it was a runner on 2nd. A run came in on a base knock, but then he got the double play to get out of the inning. Now, runners at 1st and 2nd with 1 out, and he's going up against Javi Beal, the 9-hole hitter for Cumberland. You need, in the postseason, Gary, you need the bottom of your order to come through.
Especially when you're facing pitchers like Mr. Clark on the mound. And one of those things we talked about, maximizing and minimizing. Here you got to capitalize here. You have a scoring opportunity regardless where you got in your order, especially when you're in 6, 7, 8, and 9. With the top part of the lineup coming up, when we turning over for a third time, it's going to be a key at bat with no balls and 2 strikes.
Clark will come to the set, checks the runner at second. High leg kick is what we've been seeing today from the lefty. He delivers again. Breaking ball that slipped out of his finger a little bit. He just changed balls from a slick one, and that one seems to have a little bit more slickness to it.
Yeah, the rain still kind of, as my grandparents would say when I was growing up, still spitting a little bit.
That's a great way to describe it. It's just enough to annoy you. Swung on and missed. That's a big swing from Beal. It was in the other's batter's box, and that's the second out. Strikeout for Clark is his 8th of the game. He has been so good. You blink and he's at 8 strikeouts. It doesn't feel like it.
Because he's so efficient with his pitches, but usually you don't want to go for a lot of strikeouts because you run your pitch count up really quickly. But Mr. Clark, that was a key situation for a punch out.
Drew Dalton-Akawumi is the batter here. He's the leadoff man, 0 for 2 today. The shortstop struck out looking back in the third, flew out to right in his first at bat of the game for Cumberland. Swings through the 1-0. That's a big hack from the righty. Batting .353 entering the game today. He's played in every game and started every single one of them. Double foul ball. Swung through, and then on the backswing, hit off of the bat again. Don't see that very often. But
unusual.
Right. For Drew, natural position is center field. But with the need for this team and the depth with a lot of changeover, ends up finding himself at shortstop this year.
He's a baseball player.
That's exactly what you want, right? 1-2, Owen Clark on the mound. Swung on and missed. The 9th strikeout of the day for Owen Clark. Gets him out of a 2-on, 1-out jam. He strikes out back-to-back batters, and that sends us to the 6th inning on SESN. Welcome back here on SESN. We move to the 6th inning, the top of the 6th inning, as Justin Goldstein gets back to work. The second team member of the Mid-South Conference gets the first pitch swing from the batter, Wren. And the thing that we've kind of noticed as we look into the numbers a little bit, and he must have done something to his bat. He's looking for some more sticky stuff. Got the pine tar spray. That gives us time to talk about this, but this is a team that today is hitting They have the lead, 3-1. They've done it on 3 hits, so they're 3 for 18. That means they're batting 167 in this game. And traditionally for Columbia, when they're in a situation like that, it's not going well for them.
No, I mean, as a team this year, 369 as a team, third in the entire country. The right-hander, number 31, is dialing up a lot of outs.
Second pitch to the at-bat makes it 1-1.
And Matt, he's really had him off balance outside of the home run. He's buckled knees.
Rain a little bit more consistent now coming down. The thunder spell is supposed to be to the east of us here in Kingsport, which means it's around the mountain, so hopefully doesn't have an impact. There is a delay protocol, so if lightning strikes within 8 miles of our facility, the trainers have the what do I call it? The tech for that. They have the radar that detects that, so they are the ones that will inform. And if that lightning does strike within 8 miles, which as of right now with the radar showing it most likely will not, we'll enter a 30-minute delay. Now, what I will say is that one gets away from Goldstein, and that will be the first hit batter of the game. And, I kind of think of hit batters as walks in a way, so that's only the second time he's given up a free base.
And also, but the key is that's the leadoff hitter of the inning, though,
Right.
too. You have a situation, so you have 2, 3, 4 due up for the Cougars here, and they're half of the 6. Of course, in baseball, you want to get them on, get them over, and get them in. No, he got them on. Let's see if we can get them over and get them in.
So with Wren also being the catcher, he'll get a courtesy runner. Wren being the first teamer for the American Midwest Conference. And there's a situation like he's not leading off, but he's batting second, the catcher is, so gets the speed for McGinnis, who hits one high and deep, and it is gone. McGinnis, pour one out for the boys. He's got 2 RBIs on the 2-run shot to make it 5-1. Braden, the player of the year in the American Midwest Conference, playing like it.
So the leadoff hitter gets on by the hit by pitch, Matt, and the next hitter deposits it over the left field wall for the second time today for the Cougs. Again, that will be homer number 91 as a team. They lead 5th in the nation with 240 extra base hits. They have 2 today.
McGinnis has hit his 20th home run of the year. Just absurd numbers.
In game 51.
Right. Unreal what he has been able to do for this team. The Concordia, Missouri native, the transfer from State Fair Community College in his senior year, won the Gold Glove, was on the first team, and, of course, the biggest accolade being the player of the year.
Got to think this is the 3rd time through the lineup. The first 2 times I thought Goldstein did a nice job of keeping guys off balance, Matt. He was really buckling guys' knees on the breaking ball. He turned on that breaking ball and hit it over the left field wall.
Just crushed it. 5-1 the score now, and, of course, Goldstein will stay out there. Action starting in the bullpen. Well, I was getting ready to talk about it because you're kind of at the point where, like, for both of these teams, you've gotten a traditional start out of your pitcher. So if we do enter delay, doesn't necessarily hurt either team. Maybe Owen Clark, who has been really efficient, can probably go another inning or 2 if he keeps it that way.
And to your point, that is Goldstein's 85th pitch.
Right.
So you're talking about the traditional start. You're exactly
Right.
You've got what you will need out of your starter today.
So a delay not going to affect having to use an extra pitcher. Each of these teams is going to have to use another arm here today. Unless, of course, Owen Clark goes crazy in the next couple of innings. He has a couple 3-pitch innings and whatnot, but Columbia is going to have to figure that out when it arrives. Goldstein for Cumberland will continue to try and battle through this game with the score 5-1, needing some outs here in the 6th inning.
You talked about in the beginning of the inning about the 167 batting average through the first 5 innings. The 3rd time through the lineup, the Cougars such a talented offensive ball club. And you're not 41-9 by accident,
No.
right? You're very well coached. Every at bat means something as well, and definitely his third time through, Mr. McGinnis. I mean, I just dream about hitting baseballs that far.
Fouled off by.
But if you're 31 for the Phoenix on the bump here, this situation you got to gain your composure. You still got a job to do for your team. You still got to try to minimize this inning as much as possible. Yeah, they've scored 2, but let's keep that number at 2 and see if you give your team an opportunity to battle.
Both of these teams finished second in their conference regular season. High fly ball out to left field. That's going to be gathered by LaRue, and there's the first out that was needed for this team in red, maroon, if you will. But both these teams finished in second, Gary, and the difference was for Cumberland, they go into the tournament and they come out as the tournament champions in the Mid-South. Well, Columbia, though, they get to the tournament championship, and then they ended up losing that game, a rare loss this year to Missouri Baptist, who had their number in the conference tournament. 2 losses to Missouri Baptist, one by a score of 11-1, and then the other 16-5. That Missouri Baptist team, one of the best in the country. Ground ball to third, picked up by Hassan. He'll throw over to first, plenty of time, and that will be the second out. So after the home run, 2 quick outs for Goldstein, and he'll try and get through the 6th inning.
A nice response, as you talked about, after the home run, and really do what you can to keep your team, to keep the momentum. As well, if you get the next 3 guys out, come in, let you guys swing the sticks and see what happens. Down 5-1 to, no shame to be down 5-1 to the Cougars, but you still got a job to do on the bump.
Need the offense to come alive in the bottom half of this inning. There's a high fly ball tracking back to right field at the wall and almost letting the wind take it over before Wetchell gets back to it and is able to corral it on the warning track. But it's the big fly from the big man, Braden McGinnis. That is the difference so far. He extends the lead. It's a 4-run lead as we move to the 6th inning here on SESN.
The Southeast Sports Network is now on Amazon Fire TV. Now you can download the SESN app and watch on any Amazon-enabled device, such as your Fire Stick. The easiest way to download the app is to go to our website, find the Watch SESN tab, and click Fire TV.
Welcome back. We move to the bottom of the 6th inning here on SESN. We should have a guest coming over in a little bit here from Cumberland. I know, of course, being down 5-1, not the best situation. Rain's starting to come down a little bit more. We're going to play some small ball here on the slick turf, and it will be rolled foul by Moser, the 2-hole hitter for this team.
He's 0 for 2 so far. Again, he's just trying to spark his offense a little bit, trying to get some momentum on his side of the field. Mr. Clark threw 5 innings, allowed 5 hits, 1 run. He was earned 9 punch outs, 78 pitches through 5.
So with the ring coming down, we're going to see probably a couple more stoppages than we're used to so we can get some dry baseballs to the umpires. There's a line drive to right field, and it will hold up just long enough for Carlton to get over to it. And that will be the first out here of the inning in the bottom of the 6th.
That's a big one for Clark to get that leadoff hitter out. And kind of, again, baseball is such a game of momentum. Score the 2 runs in the top half, get the first out in the bottom half. It's the lefties having quite a day so far.
Exactly what you're taught to do. After your team gets run, you need quick outs. There's a ground ball to first. Race to the bag with McGinnis. He'll slide in, out. There's a little bit of speed from Preston Wetchell, and McGinnis had to get on his horse to get over.
It's always funny. The guy in the top half of the inning who hits a home run always makes a great defensive play in the bottom half.
Every time.
That's baseball.
Or the reverse. You make a great play defensively, and then you got to lead off or something the next inning. So McGinnis, after taking a trot around the bases, has to sprint to first.
And slid in.
Yeah,
foot out.
It was close. There's a check held back by 10. The first baseman today for Cumberland.
Who says you have to be a first base? You shouldn't be a lumbering first baseman. McGinnis showed off some wheels there, right? And showed off some little athletic ability.
He said, hey, I'm not just here for my power. I've gotten to trot around the bases 20 times. That doesn't mean I can't run.
So quickly, 2 down here in the bottom half. Nice job. Owen Clark still dealing.
On the outside, 3-0. This, I want to say, my numbers are correct. I believe this is the first 3-0 count that Clark has had today. Pitch on the inside. There's the strike to get back into the count. 2 outs, 3-1 on 10. It has cooled off here in Kingsport because of the rain. Ground ball to third. Hot shot picked up by the third baseman. Thrown over to first in plenty of time. And the Cougars will get out of the inning. Another 1-2-3 inning for Owen Clark. And don't look now, his pitch count's only at 85 here in this one. We will head to the 7th inning on SESN. The score 5-1 in favor of Columbia College. Welcome back here on SESN. Rain continues to fall here in Kingsport, Tennessee. This game was originally scheduled to be played yesterday, but with the rain we had and the chance of thunderstorms, we ended up canceling the last 2 games yesterday, and that meant we had to start at 10 a.m. today. I believe the NAIA rule, I was talking to our site director, Glenn, about this. I believe you can't start a game before 9 a.m. That's the earliest you're allowed to start a game, and no game is allowed to start at 10 p.m. or later. First pitch of the inning from Goldstein is hit out to right, fly ball that Wetchell is able to catch, and that is the first out. There's an efficient out as he's at 91 pitches.
He's allowed 4 hits so far, 5 runs, 3 earned, 6 punch outs, 1 walk so far. That was 91 pitches.
Only 4 hits for Columbia.
2 of them led to 3 runs, though.
Right. A 1 solo home run from Zachary Friend, and then follow that up a couple innings later with the 2-run shot from McGinnis. There's a wacky swing from Jackson Dunn. Makes it 0-2 for Goldstein.
7, 8, 9 do appear in the half of the inning for the Cougs.
There's an 0-2 swing back up the middle for a base hit. Make it 1 on with 1 away for Columbia College, who just It's very hard to get them in order.
I think they're going to have a little courtesy runner maybe, or maybe a pinch runner here in the 7th.
It looks like that will be the case because Dunn, of course, not the catcher today. So we will see a pinch runner. It looks like that runner will be, and see a number on. Let's grab the binoculars that we brought. Don't bring them to not use them. We need a number. 39, it looks like. So that is Sutton Hanks from Ozark, Missouri. He is the pinch runner here in this game in a key moment. Now, the other rule modification that the NAIA has is you have the re-entry rule. So you can pinch run in this situation. You get one re-entry. So we could see Dunn come back out on the defensive side of things. But he had a job to do. His job was to get on base. Seems like it was planned. There's a ground ball to second, picked up by Beal, and he'll bobble again. His second error of the game. That one more true than the first, but it leads to runners at first and second with one away for Columbia College. And the speed maybe of the runner at first, that would be Hanks, maybe sped him up a little bit. He started to try to throw it before he had the ball.
Yeah, what happens is the bounce, we talked about earlier, like the turf can act as a trampoline sometimes. That one, it deadened the baseball. The bounce got a little bit higher, a little bit slower, and then there's a little indecision to go to the second base for the lead out, or go to the first, and a little indecision leads to the second error of the game. Now you have runners at first and second and one out, and Mr. Goldstein's day will be done.
That error really hurts because efficiently he probably could have gotten through this inning and helped save an arm for the last couple of innings. But because of the error, it extends the frame and puts runners at first and second with only one out up on the board. If it's runner at second with two outs, you probably leave him out there for this last hitter and let him try and get through the 7th without any hiccups.
And you allow the reliever to, getting through the 7th allows the reliever to have a clean inning.
Right.
Start off clean in the 8th.
A score 5-1. We'll have more information on the new pitcher when we come back on SESN. The score 5-1 in favor of the Cougars over the Phoenix in the NAIA opening round as the rain starts to come down even more. Well, you can see it here on SESN. The rain's starting to come down a little bit too hard, even though we are playing on the turf. And the umpires, who are now the official decision makers, once the game starts, the umpires take over as the decision maker, and they have decided that we are not going to continue this game here in this game. I'm not sure if it was lightning or if they're just saying it's raining too hard, we'll wait for the spell to end, and then we'll bring everybody back out, because we're in a point in the game where, because there's a new pitcher coming in, why have them continue to warm up? You can stop it here at a clean point. The only one that this maybe affects is on the other side in Owen Clark.
He definitely, because he's already pitched the first 6 innings. I'm kind of looking around, just trying to lean out the window, just kind of see. I see blue skies. If you look to the left, I see gray skies looking to the right. But as you talked about here in East Tennessee and in the mountains, the weather can change quickly, and as the Phoenix started coming back on the field. We talk about changing quickly. There you go.
They waited for the spell to stop, and I guess that was enough from the umpires, so they'll let them come back out, and the warm-ups will continue. This is a weird situation. All the umpires said, hey, we're coming off, and then because the wind and everything changes so quickly, it started to lighten up on the rain. Now, I will say it was a little bit of a harder rain than what we've seen kind of all day today, and that was enough to stop it and just let the thing run its course.
Yeah, I think once we saw them come off the field, we understood why they was coming off the field, right? Because the rain was coming in. The hardest has been all day. But this is going to be a situation I think we'll be battling raindrops for the majority of the day. And now you have on the national tournament schedule, you don't get pushed too far back in this week because it'll affect the World Series, whoever advances from the Kingsport Regional.
So there is a potential waiver that the site can file to be able to play on Friday, but that is, for the most part, that is the latest they'll let you play, because you got to get ready to go to Lewiston to participate in the World Series, and they don't want that championship game to really affect you. They want you to have enough time to rest and it's to get your pitching back.
So if we can rewind time back to 1996, Matt. I'm playing at the University of Pikeville, and then it was the Kentucky Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, and we're playing in the conference tournament. And the league was a two-bid league. It's whoever won the regular season, and then whoever won the tournament championship. It was the same team who finished up runner-up in the tournament got the second bid. Well, we get in a situation, what you're just talking about as far as time frame is concerned. My last collegiate game began at 2:30 a.m., and it concluded at 6.
I took a drink when you said I was about to spit that out on air. 2:30 a.m.
Because it was the time frame we had to complete within that day, because whoever won that game had to play another one in that same day. So we had started at 2:30 in the morning, had to get it wrapped up by a certain time because we got a waiver for that day. It had to be done by noon of the following day, and so it makes for a great story. I wish I said we won. I wish we said we would have won.
Well, let me ask you this. Unfortunately, you take the loss, but was it – I would assume a 2:30 a.m. game is a 2-0, 2-1 type game because nobody's awake and the bats are asleep.
Yeah, so it was 2-1 going into the ninth, and then unfortunately Lindsey Wilson's bats woke up, and I was unable.
They got the early bird call.
Yeah, unfortunately I was unable to keep them quiet, but it definitely. But to your point about the waiver and as far as the timing, there is rules put in place for a reason. They will make sure all the teams are as fresh as possible.
So the main rule is no game can start at 10 p.m. You could start a game realistically at 9:59 and be fine. But if that game starts at 10, that's where the issue is.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see those teams starting to hustle around. If it gets like 9:58, get on quick. Let's go. Go throw it first pitch. Let's go.
So we do have a new pitcher for this Cumberland team. It is Jake Green, the East Georgia State transfer. First strike. No, it was a ball on the outside. He's the right-handed pitcher, the senior for this team, and he comes in needing to get out of this inning. A 3.79 ERA in 22 appearances, only 2 starts. So he's used to coming out of the bullpen. Needs something here. As, you know, right after we took the delay, Gary, wouldn't you know, the rain had stopped.
It stopped. And actually, you could actually feel the heat even started coming in. It's weird weather, but it's luckily we're playing on turf, and turf entire field.
So we were able to get through some of it. I think it won't be the rain, the field conditions that will stop play. It's more so, I think they wanted to stop it, one, because of the clean split. You can do it and the reliever can come in and get fresh warm-ups. But also, it was raining hard enough where it starts to affect the ball.
Correct.
That's what you really have to worry about, because you don't want somebody to lose grip and end up hitting somebody and hurting somebody because they lost a fastball and it ran into somebody's head. 2-2 runners take off. Throw down to third is in time. Strike him out, throw him out. Double play to end the inning. And it is 5-1. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Cumberland needs the bats with the momentum to get back into this one. We'll be right back on SCSN. Well, one of the golden rules of baseball is you don't want to make the first or third out at third, but when you put a runner in motion with one out, you don't expect to strike him out, throw him out, double play at third base. But that's exactly what happened for Cumberland to get out of that 7th inning.
It was a big one, too. You know, you get the 2 runners on with only 1 out. Green gets a strikeout, and Coach Munn's trying to be a little bit more aggressive, trying to keep momentum on his side of his ball club, maybe trying to throw the knockout punch up by 4 runs. But however, the Phoenix, the 15th runner they caught stealing this year as a ball club, and that was a big one too, man.
The biggest one so far this year, because that really keeps them in the game. And you talk about momentum. Well, with Coach Munch trying to keep the momentum and really kind of put this game away, the strike him out, throw him out, puts that momentum back with Cumberland, who's down by 4 and needing the offense to really get going.
5, 6, 7 do it for the Phoenix in the bottom half of the 7th, and this will be the 3rd time through the lineup facing Clark here. Matt, again, Clark's been very efficient with his pitches so far. And as he continues that trend, he's done such a good job. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 run. He was earned 9 strikeouts, 85 pitches.
Toshi Korea will lead off this inning as the rain comes back here. So some light action in the bullpen. People, some pitchers and stuff walking around. But there's certainly no indication that they would go to the bullpen anytime soon.
As you can see, the umbrellas come back out. Now the rain's picking back up once again.
Owen Clark has done plenty in this game. Really, we talked about it a little bit earlier before it was really much of a conversation, but now you're not necessarily burning an arm because he's made it through 6 innings of work so far.
Now Korea double back in the 2nd inning for the Phoenix.
2-2 is grounded into no man's land. Has to be picked up by the third baseman and thrown over. It's going to get away. Korea will make the turn and head to second. He'll get in there easily. And the throw from Mageka just got away from him. I don't think it was necessarily the wet ball that had an impact. I think he just kind of rushed it a little bit.
Yeah, as a player, you start kind of questioning your footing, too. On a wet turf, you wonder maybe that kind of entered the mindset, and do I have enough footing to throw the baseball? Kind of an awkward throw, unable to be picked up at first base. And now it's a runner, the leadoff runner on second base. Let's see if the Phoenix can capitalize.
There's the momentum we were just talking about because you get strike him out, throw him out to end the 7th, and then you get an error that puts you running in scoring position for Cumberland. What more can you ask for going into the 7th, down by 4? Swung over top of by LaRue, who is – there's been a couple of players that have had Owen Clark's number today. You think of Hassan, who's 2 for 2. Well, LaRue has been controlled by Owen Clark. 2 strikeouts, all of them swinging. 1-1. Sees a pitch on the inside, called a strike, make it 1-2.
And in the pen, Matt, you have number 7, Hunter Hess.
That was the American Midwest Conference Freshman Pitcher of the Year. So, you know, oftentimes you think if we can break into the bullpen, that could really give us a chance. LaRue's going to strike out for the 3rd time swinging against Owen Clark. But, you know, you oftentimes it's always, all right, just knock the pitcher out. Let's get to the bullpen. Well, hey, here's the Freshman Pitcher of the Year that you're going to have to face against now in a game that will send one team to the winner's bracket and one team to the loser's bracket. Each of these teams will play another one today. One will be an elimination game. The other will be a winner's bracket game at 8:30.
You talked, that's his 10th strikeout of the day, and he's had some big ones in big situations. You know, leadoff hitter gets on second base, get the punch out there. That makes 3 punch outs with the runners in scoring position today for Clark.
Second time this season that Owen has struck out double digits. His season high is 13. That was back against Crowley's Ridge on 4/21. One and one count on Hassan. Back pick to second. Whew. A little closer than maybe you would think it should be. But Korea gets back in time.
You talked about earlier in the game when Coach told you that a limited number of times this year, team scored more than 2 runs off of Clark all year. You can see why.
Gets away on the breaking ball in the dirt, and that will allow Korea to get to third. So with 1 out, a runner is 90 feet away.
So you see the young man running baseballs into the umpire. You're going to be seeing him quite a bit today. Anytime the ball is going to be hitting the turf until we give some just a lot of time where just the sun comes out as the sun's starting to come back out now. Allow that turf to dry, but I promise you there are plenty of baseballs here in Kingsport. But here with 2-2, Clarksville got 1 punch out here in the inning with a runner at second base. Let's see if we can get another one with the runner in scoring position.
2-2. Swung on and missed. That's the 11th strikeout of the game for Owen Clark.
And like talking about situations when those, it's not just strikeouts at the empty times of the game. That's his 4th with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
It's huge. Huge.
You talk about runners in scoring position. That means Cumberland now is 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Dukeshire will step in now with 2 outs. You at least want to get the run across. Make it a 3-run game if you're Cumberland.
So the inning started off by an error on the third baseman, and then a punch out, wild pitch, strikeout, now strike 1 on the hitter.
Pitch misses, 1-1.
That's 101, Matt, as far as pitch count for Mr. Clark. Probably his last, I'm assuming this may be his last inning if he gets through the 7th.
He's over 100 pitches now. Pitch on the inside. Not a strike. It just missed on the inside. I'm looking at the Twitters right now, and NAIA ball locked into this matchup. Always nice to have them with us.
We talked about on that ball in the dirt, the importance as far as the catcher staying. And Wren did such a good job of staying in front of the baseball on the turf, especially wet. You almost had to be like a shortstop or a hockey goalie. Stay in front of the baseball and knock it down. But you have to have good fundamentals to keep that baseball in front of you.
3-1 the count. Runner at third, Owen Clark trying to toss a gem. Ground ball. Third base, picked up, thrown over, and that is going to do it. 7 strong innings of 1-run baseball from Owen Clark. He strikes out 11, and the score 5-1 on SESN.
Got 2 outs and 5 pitches.
Welcome back here on SESN. It's the 2025 NAIA Baseball opening round here on SESN, presented by Visit Kingsport here in Kingsport, Tennessee. The only host site without a school hosting. Proud to be a partner with Visit Kingsport and SESN.
They just do it right. This makes my second year be involved somehow with Visit Kingsport and with Southeast Sports Network, and they just do it right here. I mean, it's always everything you need. They're on top of things, and And they not just for the broadcast crew, but also for the players.
Yeah.
Everything set up plenty of the facilities is amazing here as well.
We are in the 8th inning here on SESN, and what I can tell you is this has been a heck of a game. 5-1 doesn't do justice how close this game has actually felt, I would say, as we go over to Gary Justice for his opinion on that one.
Well, both teams are 5 for 26. When both teams are hitting 192, you're talking about how close it is. As far as, again, 5-1, you wouldn't think it'd be very close on the score. I mean, as far as the stats would show how close this ball game is. 5-1, you take away a couple of pitches, this is a 2-1 ball game.
Absolutely.
And it was a 2-2 pitch for one home run and a 3-2 pitch for the other home run. So one pitch away each time.
What happened to just get a base knock when you got 2 strikes on you? Now we hit yard long fly balls over the wall.
Of course, the Cougars have that ability, and here they are. The 2, 3, 4 do it for the Cougs, and they're half of the 8th.
They go up against Jake Green.
Did such a good job in the 7th.
They got the strikeout, and it was a strike him out, throw him out double play to end the inning.
Hey, let's bring in runners at first and second, and 1 out. We're chilling 5-1. Keep them where they're at.
That's all your job.
Hey, good luck.
Good luck. Here you go. Oh, by the way, we're going to stop the game for 30 seconds.
Oh, it took them 5 pitches to get 2 outs.
2-0. Swung and fouled back by Wren, who Tyler today hit by a pitch and then reached on an error. He was the one that hit the ball to second back in the first inning that really led to the 2 runs in that first inning. And that, like you mentioned, it could be 3-1, 2-1 potentially.
And going back to the first, that was a 2-out base knock to drive into as well.
Ground ball down third, back pick over by Hassan. He'll throw over, long stretch by Wynn, but his split takes him just off the bag, and you might not be able to see it that well from home, but I can tell you when he went into the splits, his foot did come off the bag, and then he put it back on. That's a great call by the umpire.
And it looked like the stretch may take off the first baseman well because he was stretching. The throw was to his right, so he's going to use his left leg to stay on the bag and try to stretch with the right leg to open up, get a little more wingspan. Now
Right.
unable to stay on the bag and lead off hitter on for the Cougs.
It was a heck of a stretch. A great play all around. Just it took him just enough off the bag that he had to reset, and that means there's a runner at first.
Guess who's hitting?
Who else? Braden McGinnis stepping to the bat. First pitch will stay in the yard this time.
He had a 3-2 breaking ball about left field wall. His last time up, drove in. That was a 2-run blast.
I think there's a debate right now on if it was an error or not. And I would assume you're going to throw the error up on. They're having a bunch of issues with the scoreboard right now.
Yeah, so on the live stats, it shows a 3rd error being charged to the Phoenix.
So it was an error on the third baseman, Hassan, just a little up the line. Count moves to 1-2 on McGinnis, who doesn't change his approach when he gets the 2 strikes on him. Stays true and trust his stuff, trust his ability. Got an upright stance, and it's a power stance. There's a power swing, a base hit to left field, and that will move up the runner to second. So runners at first and second with nobody out, and Cumberland trying to keep this game close in the 8th inning.
That'll be their 6th hit of the day. More importantly, you have runners at first and second and nobody out, and now you have 4, 5, and 6. Do it for the Cougars. Again, a talented offensive team.
And what more can you ask for if you're Columbia
than
what you've had today?
In the 7th, Coach Munns was very aggressive trying to get more runs on the scoreboard. He's not satisfied with a 4-run lead.
No, I think he knows, and I think we all know watching this game. Oh, there was the hot shot almost. I was ready for it.
You shifted your feet. You was ready to go.
I was ready. I got to get the hands up. I can't have the hands down in the pockets right now. We gotta be ready, especially with the lefty up. That's the lefty is the one that should scare us a little bit. But I was going to say, Coach Munns knows that this Cumberland team, they can score. Swung on and foul tip into the glove makes it 0-2. This team has scored 446 runs this year, entering today.
They can score in bunches, too. I mean, you don't win the Mid-South by accident. You don't win 37 ball games by accident.
I mean, they beat the number 8 team, University of the Cumberlands, 12-6.
They beat them twice in the tournament. Right. I mean, so it's a talented team. Coach Munns he knows who they're playing, and 4-run lead, you cannot relax.
I mean, we saw it yesterday with Indiana Tech.
The 6 runs in 1 inning.
Yeah. They threw together an impressive inning to win that game 8-2 in a game that felt like Louisiana Christian could extend it and win in a close game. Ping off the bat out to the left center field, drifting and making the catch is Moser. That's an underrated play from the center fielder. He was playing a little bit more deep than you would expect, and he got over there in time to make a nice play.
But also, that ball is slicing away from him as well because that baseball off the left-handed stick, and you definitely got to run all the way through the place. A lot of times you'll see outfielders, especially at a youth level, high school level, they run to a spot and stop, and that baseball is still traveling away from them. That ball will drop. Nice play by the center fielder to go all the way through the play. That's a big out as well.
That's the first out here in the 8th inning, and now a chance to roll into a double play to get out of the jam. It's a team that has grounded into 50 double plays, but they have churned 31 of them.
So Mr. Carlton back in the first, he had the 2-out single that scored the 2 runs to give the Cougars the first lead of the day of 2-0, and
that kind of set them on their way, really.
He did, yeah. He set the tone.
2 runs in the first, 1 run in the fourth, another 2 in the 6th. That's how they get to 5. Cumberland's 1 run came back in the 2nd inning. They've done it on 6 hits, and they've only left 2 runners on all day. And they're going to have an issue. So this is
Lightning, I believe.
Glenn Crawford, who is our site director, and with the count at 0-2, the at-bat will have to stop, and the reason behind this is even with no rain, you may see on our stream there is no rain in the area above the field, but because of a lightning strike within 8 miles, we have to stop for 30 minutes. We have no choice. We have to stop. And it's an unfortunate situation because there is absolutely 0 rain right now here in Kingsport. One of the rare times we haven't had rain.
Blue sky.
And a blue sky in the outfield that we haven't seen all week, right? Like this is a rare moment, but because of the rain, and I'm going to pull up the radar right now.
So Coach Munns is meeting with the folks at home plate right now.
I'm wondering if he was in a debate about sending Owen Clark back out there for the 8th inning, and now he can't. Because 30 minutes at 100 pitches, you're done.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to, especially the outing he had and the position he put his ball club.
So I'm taking a look at the radar now, and yeah, it's a system that's to our east, and it has all the colors you don't want to see. And so I'm assuming that is within the 8 miles. But, you know, the good thing is after that, we knock on some wood, we should be clear to at least get this game done, but we will have to wait 30 minutes before we are able to get this one going. So we went into that delay. I believe it was at 12 o'clock exactly, probably been about 2 minutes or so. So we should be able to get this one going again at around 12:30.
Yeah, well, definitely have a warm-up period after that 30 minutes. It is not 30 minutes before they can get back on the field. And once 30 minutes goes up, it lapses, then there'll be a warm-up period, probably maybe 5 minutes or so, and then we'll have a little baseball around 12:35, 12:40.
So we'll step aside. We'll say on this stream we're gonna start our playlist a little bit to get us through some of this, but we'll step aside. You don't have to go anywhere. Just go brew yourself some coffee again, the second cup of the day, if you will. Maybe get a quick bite to eat for lunch or something along those lines. But it is 5-1 here in the top of the 8th inning. We are in a lightning delay here in Kingsport, Tennessee, and we will step aside here on SESN. When we come back, we'll hopefully finish this one out, and then we'll start to get you ready for Indiana Tech and Tennessee Wesleyan. That is now going to be pushed back. Originally, it was scheduled to start at 1:30, and that's going to be pushed back now officially because they have to have an hour in between anyway. So we will step aside, and when we come back, we'll get ready to finish this one out. We're in the top of the 8th, 5-1 the score. Columbia, Missouri taking on Cumberland of Tennessee here in Kingsport of the NAIA opening round. We'll be right back after the rain delay / lightning delay here in Kingsport.
Want to watch your favorite Southeast teams in action? We've got you covered. Stream live games and highlights on YouTube, Twitch, Amazon Fire TV, Stream TV, and more. For all the details, visit our How to Watch page at sesnsports.com. It's your one-stop guide to catching every play, every time, wherever you are. The Southeast Sports Network, bringing the game to you anytime, anywhere. Catch the most thrilling moments from your favorite local teams, only on the Southeast Sports Network. From jaw-dropping touchdowns to game-winning goals, we bring you all the highlights that make the Southeast the heart of sports. Don't miss out. Tune in anytime, anywhere, and relive the action like never before. The action lives on our YouTube channel, but you can watch highlights many different ways by visiting our website. The Southeast Sports Network, where every play matters.
The story of the United States has been written for centuries. Penned by millions of authors, written in every language, from every perspective. With every chapter as unique as our people and our land. Our story is one made up of many. Find yours in the USA.
rhythmic sound of more than 500 cascading waterfalls, the endless echo of more than 10,000 caves, the serene silence of 1,000 miles of wilderness trails. The next time someone tells you to get lost, consider it an opportunity. Your vacation is now playing in Tennessee.
At the Salvation Army, a shelter isn't just a place to rest. It's a chance to shed layers, let loose, and finally let it go. With your gift, a warm bed is just the beginning. It's the first night of a new day. When our homeless neighbors feel safe enough to close their eyes, they can see the way forward.
A truck is a tool, but a ram is life. Yeah, it's the wipe the sweat off your brow sort of life. But it's also the let's load up the ATV's life. The my kids play way too many sports life. The let's find a secret spot to fish life. That looks nice. Innovations, comforts, and powertrains built to power all the lives you live. Ram.
The Southeast Sports Network is now on Amazon Fire TV. Now you can download the SESN app and watch on any Amazon-enabled device, such as your Fire Stick. The easiest way to download the app is to go to our website, find the Watch SESN tab, and click Fire TV app. Then just select your device from the list. That's it. Free and easy. Enjoy watching the Southeast Sports Network on your Fire TV, Fire Stick, or Fire Tablet with just a few clicks.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Want to watch your favorite Southeast teams in action? We've got you covered. Stream live games and highlights on YouTube, Twitch, Amazon Fire TV, Stream TV, and more. For all the details, visit our How to Watch page at sesnsports.com. It's your one-stop guide to catching every play, every time, wherever you are. The Southeast Sports Network, bringing the game to you anytime, anywhere. Catch the most thrilling moments from your favorite local teams, only on the Southeast Sports Network. From jaw-dropping touchdowns to game-winning goals, we bring you all the highlights that make the Southeast the heart of sports. Don't miss out. Tune in anytime, anywhere, and relive the action like never before. The action lives on our YouTube channel, but you can watch highlights many different ways by visiting our website. The Southeast Sports Network, where every play matters.
The story of the United States has been written for centuries. Penned by millions of authors, written in every language, from every perspective. With every chapter as unique as our people and our land. Our story is one made up of many. Find yours in the USA.
rhythmic sound of more than 500 cascading waterfalls, the endless echo of more than 10,000 caves, the serene silence of 1,000 miles of wilderness trails. The next time someone tells you to get lost, consider it an opportunity. Your vacation is now playing in Tennessee.
At the Salvation Army, a shelter isn't just a place to rest. It's a chance to shed layers, let loose, and finally let it go. With your gift, a warm bed is just the beginning. It's the first night of a new day. When our homeless neighbors feel safe enough to close their eyes, they can see the way forward.
A truck is a tool, but a ram is life. Yeah, it's the wipe the sweat off your brow sort of life. But it's also the let's load up the ATV's life. The my kids play way too many sports life. The let's find a secret spot to fish life. That looks nice. Innovations, comforts, and powertrains built to power all the lives you live. Ram.
The Southeast Sports Network is now on Amazon Fire TV. Now you can download the SESN app and watch on any Amazon-enabled device, such as your Fire Stick. The easiest way to download the app is to go to our website, find the Watch SESN tab, and click Fire TV app. Then just select your device from the list. That's it. Free and easy. Enjoy watching the Southeast Sports Network on your Fire TV, Fire Stick, or Fire Tablet with just a few clicks.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Want to watch your favorite Southeast teams in action? We've got you covered. Stream live games and highlights on YouTube, Twitch, Amazon Fire TV, Stream TV, and more. For all the details, visit our How to Watch page at sesnsports.com. It's your one-stop guide to catching every play, every time, wherever you are. The Southeast Sports Network, bringing the game to you anytime, anywhere. Catch the most thrilling moments from your favorite local teams, only on the Southeast Sports Network. From jaw-dropping touchdowns to game-winning goals, we bring you all the highlights that make the Southeast the heart of sports. Don't miss out. Tune in anytime, anywhere, and relive the action like never before. The action lives on our YouTube channel, but you can watch highlights many different ways by visiting our website. The Southeast Sports Network, where every play matters.
The story of the United States has been written for centuries. Penned by millions of authors, written in every language, from every perspective. With every chapter as unique as our people and our land. Our story is one made up of many. Find yours in the USA.
rhythmic sound of more than 500 cascading waterfalls, the endless echo of more than 10,000 caves, the serene silence of 1,000 miles of wilderness trails. The next time someone tells you to get lost, consider it an opportunity. Your vacation is now playing in Tennessee.
At the Salvation Army, a shelter isn't just a place to rest. It's a chance to shed layers, let loose, and finally let it go. With your gift, a warm bed is just the beginning. It's the first night of a new day. When our homeless neighbors feel safe enough to close their eyes, they can see the way forward.
A truck is a tool, but a ram is life. Yeah, it's the wipe the sweat off your brow sort of life. But it's also the let's load up the ATV's life. The my kids play way too many sports life. The let's find a secret spot to fish life. That looks nice. Innovations, comforts, and powertrains built to power all the lives you live. Ram.
The Southeast Sports Network is now on Amazon Fire TV. Now you can download the SESN app and watch on any Amazon-enabled device, such as your Fire Stick. The easiest way to download the app is to go to our website, find the Watch SESN tab, and click Fire TV app. Then just select your device from the list. That's it. Free and easy. Enjoy watching the Southeast Sports Network on your Fire TV, Fire Stick, or Fire Tablet with just a few clicks.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Want to watch your favorite Southeast teams in action? We've got you covered. Stream live games and highlights on YouTube, Twitch, Amazon Fire TV, Stream TV, and more. For all the details, visit our How to Watch page at sesnsports.com. It's your one-stop guide to catching every play, every time, wherever you are. The Southeast Sports Network, bringing the game to you anytime, anywhere. Catch the most thrilling moments from your favorite local teams, only on the Southeast Sports Network. From jaw-dropping touchdowns to game-winning goals, we bring you all the highlights that make the Southeast the heart of sports. Don't miss out. Tune in anytime, anywhere, and relive the action like never before. The action lives on our YouTube channel, but you can watch highlights many different ways by visiting our website. The Southeast Sports Network, where every play matters.
The story of the United States has been written for centuries. Penned by millions of authors, written in every language, from every perspective. With every chapter as unique as our people and our land. Our story is one made up of many. Find yours in the USA.
rhythmic sound of more than 500 cascading waterfalls, the endless echo of more than 10,000 caves, the serene silence of 1,000 miles of wilderness trails. The next time someone tells you to get lost, consider it an opportunity. Your vacation is now playing in Tennessee.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for today's broadcast. This broadcast is a product of Shrine Media, LLC. Unauthorized use, sale, or redistribution of this media in any form is strictly prohibited without the express written consent of Shrine Media. Radio and television mediums are encouraged to reach out. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the game.
Well, welcome back. Our delay is over. About 40 minutes in total after the lightning delay struck at 12 noon. We have been ready to go for the past 10 minutes or so after the warm-ups. Gary Justice, Matt Kibbe with you up here in the booth on SESN. And where we left off is the 8th inning here on SESN. The score 5-1 in favor of Columbia College over Cumberland, Tennessee. A rare moment where we will start this game back up with runners at first and second, and the count is 0-2 on the right fielder. That is Dylan Carlton, who's up to bat. He will be facing Jake Green, who entered this game. He was on the mound when the delay hit. He will go back out there, Gary.
Yeah, he's kind of unfortunately come in the 7th inning, and a slight rain delay had to get him off the mound. He didn't throw to any hitters during the 7th, and then come back on the 8th, and a couple hitters get on. The first 2 hitters get on, and now the lightning delay. He has to come back out, get warmed up. Now he has a big task in front of him. His team's trailing 5-1 runners at first and second, and they're only 1 out. And he's got to look for a double play ball here, Matt, because again, you're starting to run out of outs to make up runs, and down by 4. So situations where you definitely got to try to find a double play ball if possible.
Here's how we got to where we are now. In the top of the first inning, it was a Carlton single that led to 2 RBIs after an error that put runners at first and second. They eventually got to second and third and scored on that single. In the bottom of the second, Hassan singled through the right side and scored Correa. That's the lone run Cumberland has been able to get today. And then in the top of the 4th, Zachary Friend hit a moonshot to left field for a solo home run. That made it 3-1 at the time. And then in the 6th inning, it was Braden McGinnis who hit another moonshot to left field. That was a 2-run homer with Hank scoring on it. And that's where we've sat. Since the 6th inning. Cumberland hasn't been able to get much offense going against Owen Clark, but they might be happy to see a right-hander come into the game from the Columbia bullpen.
I'd say Columbia, Coach Munns talked to his team during the break about capitalizing on this opportunity. They had opportunity in the 7th, is unable to push any runs across the plate. They're trying to get the 2 more here.
So Davis is the runner at second. McGinnis is the runner at first. Carlton has 2 strikes on him, no balls, and we are back underway in Kingsport, Tennessee, with 1 out on the board in the top of the 8th inning. The 0-2. Swung on and missed. There's a strikeout to get us going. That's the hardest part to do out of a rain delay. You only get 1 pitch to protect, and swung over top of it did Carlton, and that's 2 outs, exactly what Cumberland needed.
That's Green's second punch out. Both of those have been big punch outs, one in the 7th, one in the 8th, and a big situation to give his team a boost going into the bottom half. And Mr. Friend stepping in the box. He had that home run back in the 4th inning, as you talked about. Matt, this is a key at-bat for the Cougars.
First pitch of the at-bat, swung on, fouled off to the right side. We'll do the 0-1 here with the runners at first and second. I was going to say, you mentioned the home run, but I was going to say you get through, in that situation, you get through Carlton, but the road doesn't get any easier. Here comes Zachary Friend, who made a friend with the baseball out in left field back in that 4th inning. Oh, 1 from Green in the dirt. Nice block. Again, just everybody kind of resetting. And, you know, the rare factor that maybe you don't think about, but it was cool while the rain was happening. It has warmed up with now blue skies and the sun out. It's gotten up to 71, but, you know, with the wetness and dampness, it's a humid 71. So players adjusting to that as well. Haven't been playing in those conditions quite yet. The 1-1. Missed. 2-1's the count. Jake Green on in relief of Justin Goldstein, who pitched well, only gave up the 3 earned runs. Another check swing makes it 3-1 down in the dirt. Peeled, no go. This is one of those rare situations as well where in the NAIA during the tournament, you get 4 umpires. Every game has 4 umpires. Normally you have 3 during the regular season.
It just gives you more coverage. If you have enough 4th umpire, it's huge.
You will have umpires down the line, so every check swing can be appealed. I will always say this is one of my pet peeves as a former catcher and now broadcaster for the sport. There's a line drive into left field. They are going to send the runner. Throw coming to the plate. It is not cut off in time, and the throw from left field is in time for the putout. LaRue sent it in on a quick bounce, and there's the aggressiveness from Coach Munns that comes back to bite, and it is going to be a 5-1 game going into the bottom of the 8th.
So what happens there, the Phoenix escaped trouble in the 7th and the 8th as the Cougars had runners on first and second and only 1 out, unable to score any runs. Nice job of the Phoenix. All the momentum's in the dugout with the Phoenix right now. Welcome back on SESN. We move to the bottom of the 8th inning.
between Cumberland and Columbia. Gary Justice, Matt Kibbe with you here on SESN. Excited to have you along with us for this NAIA opening round. It is the freshman, Hunter Hess, the AMC Freshman Pitcher of the Year, coming in for relief of Owen Clark, who threw an absolute gem through 7 innings of work.
Gem may be an understatement.
Yes, yeah, you're right. His final line,
oh my goodness,
goes 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 run. It was earned. He had no walks in this game and 11 strikeouts facing 26. He did it in 104 pitches, and there's an argument to be made. If the lightning delay didn't happen, we would have seen him on the mound right now. Check swing outside from Hess. It misses, and he'll go. The freshman pitcher of the year goes 3-0 on his first batter, the 9-hole hitter, Javi Beal. Miss on the inside. It's a 4-pitch walk. And that brings up the top of the order for Cumberland after the outfield assist for the putout at home to end the top of the 8th. That's back-to-back innings with 40 minutes in between where they had a stellar play to end the frame and try and get the momentum back.
Their defense is keeping in the ball game right now, as Hess is still yet to find the strike zone. Interestingly, he's showing bunt. Well, he also showed bunt last time he batted as well.
This is Dalton Akawumi. He switches from the right side to the left, the switch hitter for this Cumberland team, facing the righty now in the freshman Hess. It's a senior versus the freshman. And he's in a 1-1 count. Thought about laying down a bunt. The third baseman is back. Even with the bag, runner at first, down by 4. He swings, fouls it straight back to the left side.
This is a big eye bat. Offensively, they had to get the leadoff runner on the walks. See if you can get him over at least. See if you can find a gap with the 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Quick move, pick off to first, doesn't go anywhere. It's Beal who gets back in plenty of time.
And, you know, Matt, going through the top part of the line for the 4th time today, the Phoenix have to put something together here in the 8th.
High fly ball to left field. High blue skies. Ball a little bit more difficult to see now, but underneath it is Matus, who does a really good job getting under it.
Yeah, you talked about that. That's a hard play to make there. Going back, finding a spot, the baseball slicing away from you off the left-handed bat. And also got the high sky now. Blue skies, a lot of sunshine. Nice job with the left fielder.
It's often a thought that's kind of forgotten about when you have those high blue skies. Really hard to pick up the ball in the outfield, especially when it's really high up. First pitch.
You know, early in the ballgame, you talk about the Naturals batter's eye. You actually have the same thing as far as an outfielder. You have the mountains around, a lot of greenery. Helps out a little bit.
1-0 is on the inside for a called strike. Cumberland really, you don't necessarily need all 4 runs this inning, but you would certainly love to chip away and make your 9th inning a little bit easier. Ground ball fielded by Hess. The runner will move to second, take the guarantee. They will, and that means Moser is retired, and a runner's in scoring position now with 2 away.
So you're down to 4 outs. You need 4 runs. So the Cougs they definitely would trade outs for bases right now.
That's why you see Hess, the smart freshman, making the high IQ play.
Had no doubt, knew exactly what to do with the baseball.
Right. He didn't even consider throwing to second. Inside, and that's going to be a free base to put the runner at third, and he takes a wide look around third with a little bit lackadaisical from Wren going back to the backstop. It's a big backstop here at Hunter Wright Stadium.
I actually think there may have been some debate of whether the ball hit him on the pitch. I think it's what Wren thought. I thought it hit him on the pitch. But the umpire, zero signal.
Zero signal from the umpire means play on. Upstairs, another ball from Hess. Makes it 2-0, and that's a big run. We've seen earlier, back in the 7th, remember, they got another runner at third, and they stranded him at third. They've left 4 runners on base today. Inside, ball 3.
Of course, back in the 7th, that was back-to-back punch-outs from Owen Clark.
Yeah.
He did such a good job today. He had, with the runners in scoring position, 4 of the 11 punch-outs with runners in scoring position.
Ball 4, another 4-pitch walk. So the leadoff man got on with a 4-pitch walk. Hess gets 2 outs, and then another 4-pitch walk for Wetchel, and that puts another runner on base. So first and third with 2 away, and here's a big bet that you kind of want to have up in this situation, Gary. This is the first baseman, Wilser 10, a first-team member in the Mid-South, and from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic.
He's made contacts a couple times today, flew out to right field back in the first, struck out looking in the 4th, bounced out to the third baseman in the 5th.
So certainly due.
See if he can find a barrel with two outs.
First pitch is away. It's the 5th ball in a row from the freshman Hess, pitching in his first NAIA postseason. The freshman pitcher of the year, the American Midwest Conference. And there's the first strike in the past 6 for Hess to even the count at 1. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Runners are at the corners. Down by 4, Cumberland looking for some sort of comeback. Swung on and missed. That's a big swing from 10. Usually you'll see that big swing with less than 2 strikes, and now certainly need to shorten it up and protect.
Expand that zone as much as possible now.
Hess looking to get out of the jam. The 1-2 in the dirt. You don't want to give up a free run here with a pass ball or a wild pitch. So nice stop there from Wren. 2 runners on, both at first, 1 at third. 2 outs, 2-2 the count. Bottom of the 8th inning, 5-1 the score. In the pitch. Swung. Picked up at third. They'll take the easy one over at second. And Columbia gets out of another jam, leaving runners on. And the score remains 5-1. Cumberland has their work cut out for them in the 9th inning. Got to keep Columbia quiet and then get the bats ready to go.
And nice shot by the freshman. Working on a little bit of trouble in the bottom of the 8th. And let's see if the Cougs can add to their lead in the top half of the 9th.
You're listening to college baseball on SESN. 5-1 the score. We move to the 9th inning here in Kingsport, Tennessee. So not only are the Cumberland Phoenix trying to save some pitching, but they're going to rely on the arm of Jake Green in his senior year to get through the 9th inning, keeping Columbia at bay and try and set up the comeback in the bottom of the 9th. Of course, Columbia looking to add on to their total here and get a little bit more insurance. We've seen some aggressiveness from the Cougars in the latter innings here on SESN, but now in the 9th, what do you have? How deep can you dig to fight for a win here and get to the winner's bracket and play tonight at 8:30 instead of playing at 5?
Kind of a pinch hitter here also, Matt. O'Neal will hit in the 7th spot. It's 7, 8, 9 for the Cougs in top half of the 8th, top half of the 9th.
Freshman getting the pinch hit opportunity.
5 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Cougars. 1 run, 5 hits, 3 errors for the Phoenix through 8 innings.
First pitch of ball from Green. Fouled off by O'Neal.
Green, an inning 2/3 so far, has only allowed 2 hits, struck out 2. That was pitch number 26 for the right-hander. The seniors look good.
He has. He's been tasked with a difficult task, and he has handled it very well.
Yeah, in the 7th and 8th, in the 7th, he inherited runners at first and second, 1 out. Got out of that jam, and in the 8th had runners at first and second, 1 out. Got out of the inning
He's got some
unscathed.
Got some help from his defense today. That's been the big talking point so far. Strike him out, throw him out to end the 7th. Then just last inning, we saw a play at the plate, and LaRue gunned down the runner with plenty of space. 3-1, Jake Green trying to get the first out here in the 9th against the pinch hitter, O'Neal. Braden fouls another one off. Freshman went to North Callaway High School in Missouri. Good player there for North Callaway. Found his way here to Columbia.
Talented roster.
Very talented. I think that's something you can say across the board. All these guys were studs at their previous school or back in high school. O'Neal sends one to center field. It will drop. Thought that we'd see Moser make a play on it, but, you know, you're always taught you can't dive after a line drive because it will skip by you, and when you're on the turf, that's even more apparent. It's going to go all the way to a wall guaranteed if you dive after that with no backup. So he has to hold up and keep it in front.
Sometimes in the gaps you can be more aggressive because you have the right fielder or the left fielder coming over. That's dead center field. You have to be – you're already down by 4 runs. You cannot take that chance.
It keeps the runner also at first base, so you keep the double play in order. And there's the bunt fouled straight back. That's what I need. I don't want a swinging foul ball. I need a bunt to come back here, make it nice and easy to make the catch.
Matt, I'd put your hands up against anybody in the broadcast world.
I seriously, I should have brought the glove. Pull out the A2000. Right the dust off of it. 0-1, another bunt is down low. Good pullback here from Dunn. Jackson being tasked with moving the running. You can see how important some extra runs are for this Cougar team. 5 runs on 7 hits, batting .250 on the game. They've struck out 8 times. That's maybe the one area that you focus on offensively.
Also, Matt, people may be wondering why you're trying to bunt up by 4 runs in the 9th. You're trying to score that 5th run where one swing the bat cannot tie the game.
Right. There's the bunt to move the runner over. Green will play it, make the play at first in time. So Dunn does his job, moves the runner into scoring position, and there's one away with a runner at second.
So now you have 9, 1, and 2.
So you need an out from the 9-hole hitter at least. If you're Cumberland, Columbia doesn't care who does it, but you have a job to do. And that job is now tasked with Chase Mageka. And he'll swing, lift out into shallow right field, and underneath it will be the second baseman, Javi Beal. That's the one spot you can't go with a fly ball. It's a little too shallow, and the runner can't move up.
especially with your leadoff hitter coming up.
Right.
You can be a little less aggressive there. You know, the top party lineup coming up, and this will be Quinn's 5th at bat of the day, too. He's 1 for 4. He singled back in the first. Big AB right here again. They want to Coach Munns, and he knows the importance of trying to get one more run on the board. He's trying to get it in the 7th, the 8th. He's tried it here in the 9th as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see a shallow base hit on the ground, and he'll send the runner. And there's a ball that's going to help out and make up for the fly ball. Wild pitch through the legs, and that allows O'Neill to move up 90 feet. Now he's at third with the insurance sitting there.
So it changes things now of how can you score a run. Now wild pitch.
Right.
Or a base hit scores. It takes away, will Coach Munns be aggressive on a shallow base hit now? Base hit, he's going to score.
Offensively, Cumberland out of the ordinary. 3 errors today. The 1-0 here from Green is in the dirt again. Got to be careful down there. This is going to put a lot on Dukeshire. The catcher behind the dish. The graduate senior. He's been in a few of these situations. He knows.
He's done a good job behind the dish. He moves really well. He and Ren both.
2-0 from Jake Green. Ground ball dribbler to first base. He'll have to do some PFPs. He'll get over to first in time for the putout. They strand the runner at third, so Jake Green does exactly what he's supposed to set up the 9th inning. Down by 4, Cumberland looking for some heroics here on SESN.
The Southeast Sports Network is now on Amazon Fire TV. Now you can download the SESN app and watch on any Amazon-enabled device, such as your Fire Stick. The easiest way to download the app is to go to our website, find the Watch SESN tab, and click Fire TV app. Then just select your device from the list. That's it. Free and easy. Enjoy watching the Southeast Sports Network on your Fire TV, Fire Stick, or Fire tablet with just a few clicks.
Welcome back here on SESN 2025 NAIA opening round presented by Visit Kingsport here in Kingsport, Tennessee. Gary Justice, Matt Kibbe with you here on SESN. Excited to have you along. We've got a busy day here on SESN. We already had one delay, so pushing stuff back a little bit more and more. But we are excited to have you along. This is the first game of what is supposed to be 4 today. We will have Tennessee Wesleyan and Indiana Tech up next here at Hunter Wright Stadium. And then following that, it would be Louisiana Christian versus the loser of this game in an elimination game. And then we'll have a winner's bracket game to round us out at 8:30 tonight.
The rare quadruple header.
Right. Hunter Hess is back on the mound for his 2nd inning of work, trying to slam the door on Cumberland here in this opening game for both teams in the opening round. He has the difficult task here of going through the 5, 6, 7 hitters in the order. 3 hits between the 3 of them this game. That's 3 of the 5 hits overall. Another pitch upstairs makes it 1-2.
You know, Hess look shaky in the 8th. They also look solid in the 8th. I know it's kind of funny to say walk 2 in that innings pitch, but they also was able to work around some jam. And here, 2 balls and 2 strikes on the DH.
It's 2 walks. And there's the blooper to right field. Will it stay fair? No. Just a hair foul down the right field line, and that's going to bring Toshi Korea back to the dish for another 2-2. That would have been nice. It would have been a nice little bloop double. No outs, runner at second.
So
but instead, it's going to be another foul ball, and it's a 2-2 count.
Yeah, he doubled back in the second inning. He scored a run, the only run for the Phoenix at that time, and he's also reached by an error. Nice job with 2 strikes there, really trying to fight off that pitch. Got in on his hands a little bit, tried to fight that thing off down the right field line, and just slicing foul.
Doesn't matter how you get on if you're Cumberland. You just want to get on. 2-2. Right back up the middle. He'll just do it the traditional way. Sends a hot shot back up. It's a single. He's 2 for 4 today with a double and a single. That single puts a runner on base with nobody out in the 9th inning.
That's big. You get that leadoff hitter on and get a little bit of momentum offensively. You need 4 runs. That's up to your 6, 7, and 8 part of your lineup to do. In this Phoenix lineup from 1 through 9 is very talented. They can score runs from all sections of their lineup.
Now the righty versus the lefty as LaRue steps in to bat against Hess. Now, if you're Cumberland, you're not going to like this next stat, but if you are Columbia, you've already gotten Cumberland to ground into a double play today. Looking for another one here. Called strike, 0-2 on LaRue. He is certainly due. 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts against Owen Clark. Hess comes to the set, runner at first. High leg kick, runner fakes and fouled straight back. Bring up the double play because timeliness from this Columbia defense has been good this year. They've been able to make some plays. They've churned on their own 21 double plays this season now. The 0-2 upstairs. There's the chase pitch from Hess. It was on the left side from our vantage point, the catcher's glove side. The 1-2 again, another foul ball. That's what you can ask for from LaRue. If you've struck out 3 times and you're in that last fight, that last at bat, your coach trusts you with the stick, he wants you to battle.
And he's fouled off a couple of pitches. That one was straight back. He was on top of that pitch, and there were 2 strikes. Again, the ball's going away from him. He's kind of be a borderline if he's going to be striking on. Nice job of fighting it off.
1-2. Right down the middle, called strike 3. LaRue didn't like it, but it was called immediately. And there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
It'll be the first punch out for Hess. It'll be the 12th for Cougars pitching this afternoon.
Gaines Hassan steps up now with a 1 out and a runner at first, needing base runners. I get the notion that we always talk about, you hear it on the broadcast, the runner at first doesn't matter. Doesn't matter till you get at least the tying run up. Runner fakes again inside, and it did hit him. What more can you ask for? Again, just get on base, whatever it takes. Columbia will start getting some stirring in the bullpen. The dugout starting to move around a little bit. Looks like they will send out the pitcher to warm up. Looks like Pierce Hartman, the senior, will be ready to go as he hustles out to the right field bullpen. And that's going to lead to a mound meeting with head coach Darren Munns. This is the game within a game, so taking one of his mound visits to allow his senior to start warming up.
Also talk to his freshman
right.
too, Matt. Again, Coach Munns is probably reminding number 7 in gray, hey, we're only 1 pitch to get out of this. You know, you avoid a barrel, bounce this thing to the shortstop, go a little 6-4-3 or 4-6-3, and just kind of break the momentum here.
He says he's on it. It was I will say this, it was a quick mound meeting. He went out there kind of, more so I would have guessed, announcer guessing here, but just instilling confidence in him.
So, hey, you're my guy.
Yeah.
Let's go get this person right here. Go 1 out at a time.
You don't become a 3-time American Midwest Conference Coach of the Year without being able to have a conversation like that with your freshman pitcher of the year in the conference. And right after the mound meeting, you see the fastball strike. I was often told as a batter, if you get a mound meeting, you should swing at the first pitch because it's going to be a fastball.
Yeah, typically it's going to be the best pitch, right?
But, in the ninth inning, usually you want to take until you get a strike. 0-1. There's the swing on the second offering, fouled off here by Dukeshire.
And to your point there, by taking till you get a strike when you're trailing by runs, is you trying to keep the momentum away from the defense.
Right.
Where you roll over on the first pitch and of the AB, you can try to make that pitcher throw a couple of strikes. Now, no balls and 2 strikes. Now you got to fight.
Slight shift on, pitch out in the dirt. Well, I guess I should say the pellets. 1-2 moves the count on Dukeshire, the catcher. He is 1 for 3 today. He had a single back in the 5th inning, but he's the one that grounded into the double play back in the 2nd. The 1-2 from Hess. Foul ball, stays alive. Runner at second is Correa. Runner at first is Hassan. The battery, Dukeshire. Hess is the pitcher, and Wren is the battery with him. Light shift on to the left side, expecting the righty pull. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. First base occupied, so drop third doesn't matter. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th for Columbia.
It's his second strikeout here in the 9th inning, and definitely shows why he's first team conference as well as the freshman pitcher of the year. A big situation, worked out trouble around in the 8th, and he also is working around trouble here so far in the 9th as well.
So it's left to Javi Beal with 2 outs and 2 runners on. He sees the first pitch strike. We are in the bottom of the 9th. 5-1. He swings. Ground ball to who else but McGinnis. He'll toss it over to the freshman pitcher for the final out, and Columbia will move into the winner's bracket with, I won't call it's a 3 seed against a 2 seed, so it is technically an upset, but these 2 teams are very evenly matched. This game could have gone either way. They set up for a date with the winner of our next game tonight at 8:30. That's going to be the winner of our next game, Tennessee Wesleyan versus Indiana Tech. We'll have about an hour or so in between here. We're going to get our other cameras set up, I believe, and really get us going. But 5-1 win, Gary. Any final thoughts on this game?
Clark from Columbia is actually dominant for 7 innings. And he definitely stifled this Phoenix offense, and the good pitching and defense travels, and definitely the Cougars did that. They pitched it well today, and they played great defense.
I'm almost certain at some point, again, knock on some wood, whatever you want to call it, I'm certain we will see this matchup again here this week. And if we do, we will be in for a show here on SESN. That's going to do it for us here in game number 1 of 4 of the day. Now we will get set and ready to go for Indiana Wesleyan against Tennessee Tech. Cumberland will play tonight at 5 in an elimination game against Louisiana Christian. We'll step aside, and when we get ready to go, it will be our next game, Indiana Tech versus Tennessee Wesleyan here on SESN.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for today's broadcast. This broadcast is a product of Shry Media, LLC. Unauthorized use, sale, or redistribution of this media in any form is strictly prohibited without the express written consent of Shry Media. Radio and television mediums are encouraged to reach out. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the game.